Curitiba, porra.
Curitiba Polka. All right, what's going on, guys? We're back here today with Gustavo Gasperin, Professor Gustavo Gasperin. He's our main instructor here at Uprise MMA, and Ian and I have been here for long years now. I've been here with him since I was a white belt. Ian, I believe, since a little bit later, since he was a blue belt. Other than that, he's the main brain behind the operation of the jiu-jitsu operation here, and it's a great honor, great honor to have him here.
For sure.
He runs his website, MMAleech.com, right? .com. Yes, he posts breakdown videos. He has courses there. We'll talk about that a little bit later. So it's a great pleasure to have you here. Thank you for joining us.
Nice, my pleasure being here. You guys, I feel at home.
Yeah, right. So this weekend, we usually don't plan what we're going to talk about, but there was a special weekend for grappling, and probably the biggest in history, to be honest. There was a lot of noise around the two main tournaments that were going on, the CJI and the ADCC. So we kind of decided, Ian and I decided to kind of plan it a little bit with questions, since we have the opportunity to talk to someone who actually can give a good opinion on grappling, and we can have it a little more structured today. Let me open it up real quick. What you watched both of them, or just the one, or just selected matches?
Yeah, selected matches. I didn't watch the whole thing.
I couldn't watch the whole thing either.
Man, like hundreds of matches.
The CJI, I watched the whole thing. I believe you did too. The ADCC, I watched selected matches, and mainly from the second round on.
Me too.
Yeah, kind of coincided with the CJI on Saturday, so I had to watch after. But what is your overall opinion on them running them parallel? They were both obviously very good tournaments. One is a traditional tournament, the other one is brand new with great ideas behind it. But what is your opinion on Craig deciding to actually run it parallel with it, even though it's with specific purpose? Yeah,
in the beginning I thought it was a bad idea, because you're limiting, right, the opportunities for the athletes. They have to choose one or the other, right? Why not compete on both? But then I think that was the whole reason. That was the whole reason to make them choose. What's more important, is the money, is the title, that it's ADCC, right? Super prestigious. CGI is just starting, but big money for the winner. So I think at the end of the day, it was a good thing. We still had two great events going on at the same time. Great matches on both events. But it was good for the public also to see that. And I like the idea of kind of ADCC kind of monopolizes the no-gi scene. So it was nice to take away a little bit of that and show that, hey, you guys are not, as powerful as you guys think, I like that idea. So I think it was a nice idea to have on the same weekend, at least, to make people choose. Even the viewers sometimes, some people, they just didn't watch ADCC. If they didn't have flow grappling, they don't want to pay. At least they had a nice tournament, to watch.
What about if CJI, which I think, I enjoyed the show. I think they'll have another one. Maybe next year they'll do it on another weekend. Or do you think they would do it on the same weekend next year? I personally don't.
Again.
Yeah, because now they have legitimacy now. And if they have enough legitimacy to do it again, I don't think they need to really rival. They could have it on a weekend after or prior, but I don't think they need to go right head on anymore to try to steal ADCC shine. They can kind of, and I think it would be good for the viewers, the audience, as well as the athletes, because some of them could maybe even do both. What do you think?
Yeah, I think, who knows, maybe, I think, in my opinion, still, I see a lot of people saying that, CJI, oh my God, it's the next level shit, it's the best tournament ever, and all that. And people like to jump on the bandwagon of anything new.
Right.
And I think it was a great tournament too, but I think it's too early, right? Too early to say that, oh my God, is the next thing, big thing. So, who knows? At the end of the day, I think Craig Jones and his team are going to decide, but I wouldn't mind to have on the same weekend again until maybe they become more legit, then maybe, it would, then I think would be good to give more opportunities for the athletes too, they can make money with CJI, they can have prestige with ADCC, make a little money on ADCC too. Who knows, maybe next time ADCC raises the payment because of CJI, so all those things could happen still, and as far as I know, that I heard Craig Jones saying that I think next year they are doing, but next year there is no ADCC.
Yeah, that's what I was
so
thinking.
ADCC is every
That's right.
every
2
2
years.
years. So next year I think they are gonna be fine. Maybe I would like also to see maybe one more weight division. Because this
Right.
was very like a
It was
big group, right?
big difference for
The
sure.
smaller guys, they didn't have, much opportunity on
No,
this.
you can see that in the absolute in ADCC. I mean, you saw the Pato and Diogo Reyes.
Diego,
They got to
Yeah.
the absolute and they got obliterated by people who
Yeah.
did not get. I mean, by good people, but still,
The size
big
difference
people,
is
big
How
difference.
about the girls though? Did you see the little girl win?
Oh my God,
I don't know her name. I was super
the
surprised.
Australian,
She
Australian.
beat,
girl?
yes,
Yeah,
with
yeah,
the
yeah.
Big Daddy.
Yes,
hat.
yes.
She beat
Everybody.
Mosquito. Well, she beat everybody.
She got the absolute too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, she got the absolute.
That's what I'm saying. She got the absolute. That was so impressive.
I watched, I think, 1 or 2 matches of her. I want to watch more during this week still. But yeah, she's like.
She caught her in a. She did like the Choi bar,
The-
and then caught her in the triangle and held her.
Oh
Beat
yeah,
Mosquito.
yeah.
And she couldn't get out.
She had to stay there, otherwise she would
Or
get
she was going
tapped.
to be in trouble. Yeah.
She was. You could see after
There was
that.
a lot of. I was anxious during that watching because I could kind of figure out what was going on,
Yeah.
but she wasn't moving. I was like, oh, she's staying there because she has to.
yeah,
And the girl was was trying to get the arm out, but it was exciting. It was exciting. I was proud of her.
No, she's good, man. I mean, you got to be good to.
Yeah.
But now that this happened, and she acknowledged that at the end in her speech that she's now looking closely into what Fionn Davis said was going to happen, because I watched this interview with Fionn Davis about when she decided to go with CJI, and I think I told you, and she said, if I win another medal in ADCC, gold medal, it's not going to change my life drastically at all. Yeah.
Right.
I've already won the gold, and if I do again, it's not going to make that much of a financial difference for me.
Right.
But what's going to make a financial difference for me and the girl who wins ADCC this year, which is the Australian girl, we can have a super fight and both make a lot of money. And she said it, she acknowledged that. She said, I'm waiting for Fionn now.
What weight is Fionn?
They're the same weight.
They're the same
I
weight?
think they're the same way because this
I thought Fionn
girl,
was
She was in the
bigger.
middle. No, Fionn maybe
this
55,
girl,
huh?
I think it was maybe but this girl wasn't the smaller or the lighter weight. She was,
The middle one,
In
the
the
middle
middle,
cat,
yeah.
the
Okay.
middleight class, yeah.
Okay.
so she's not that
'Cause
small.
Fionn
I mean,
Davies, did you see her against
she won
Mackenzie
the
Dern?
absolute. I'm not concerned about her, like even if Fionn is bigger, I'm not
But
concerned.
I'm just saying Fionn is good.
She's good, yeah.
She's
of
good.
course.
She's
really
strong.
good. She's strong.
She's technical, of course.
but so is Bia Mesquita, and she beat her.
Yeah,
Bia
she beat
Mesquita
her,
is
yeah.
bigger than Fionn Davis.
and Mackenzie Dern too.
Oh,
Fionn
yeah.
just like
She
ragdoll her.
dominated her.
No, so she is a powerful
I don't
woman.
think Mackenzie expected that. Like she didn't expect it to go that way.
I wouldn't have
She-
either if
like,
I was Mackenzie.
I mean, nobody expected it to go that way because she really blitzed her. But I mean, she didn't expect it to go like. I think Mackenzie didn't think it was as, what's the word? As like intense. You know what I mean?
Well,
She
she-
went in there like, hey, yeah, let's get some good roll. Kind of attitude. It looked like it at least.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
To
considering that
me,
she's
it's
an
like
MMA.
she hasn't been doing. She's not a professional jiu-jitsu player anymore, and Fionn is, and that's just the difference.
That's
and
true.
Mackenzie
but
Dern was really good at jiu-jitsu. I mean, she still is, but when you're not training at a professional level,
the focus is not
that's true.
there. The focus is not there.
that's
she
what I
might-
thought I saw.
I think so too. I think she's not as sharp
Right.
as she used to be. Even when we used to train at Verdun, Verdun was focused on MMA. His jiu-jitsu, of course, it was good, but
Right.
not at the same level as those guys who are doing every day, only jiu-jitsu,
Right.
jiu-jitsu. Because you have to split time now with wrestling, with kickboxing, with everything. It's not. I think she felt, a little.
think she looked.
the
I think she
timing
looked
a little, maybe a little rusty or
overwhelmed.
something.
Like, even on her face after she tapped,
Well,
she's kind of smiling.
the other
It was
thing
just,
is-
like, damn, that was crazy.
The other thing also is that 2 weeks ago she had her fight, and I don't know how they go about it, but I know you have a weight cut for the fight, then you replenish.
Yeah. Okay.
for
I
the
didn't
next
think
day.
about that. She
and
did
then,
just fight.
And then after the fight, you usually go on a vacation, usually.
Right.
Right? And maybe she did not go because she knew that she had a fight, but she probably
But
still
didn't they get, like,
went to
40 grand for
restaurants a few times more than
Did they get what was her payday for that?
for
Was it
CJI.
for the super fight?
Oh, I have no idea how much it was.
Oh, I thought
for
they
them.
s-
It was a good money, but I don't know how much it was.
I think it was good. Too.
Good amount of
Yeah.
money, but the way I see it, it must have cost more than 3 million. This whole thing, because I'll break it down for you in a sec. But let me just, break it down from what I guess. But let me just ask you something else. You can probably make a case for Mackenzie for being training not enough jiu-jitsu and all that, but when she went out there, they started on their feet, both of them. Then she got thrown with the Haragoshi or something. I
Right.
can't remember what it was. She got thrown, which is something that you train for in MMA, not to get thrown like that, right?
Yeah,
Then she
but-
didn't get leg locked or something new and fancy
She
that
got
she was
thrown and
never.
the girl she jumped on her.
She blitzed
She
her.
just
That's
attacked-
what I'm
she
saying.
kept-
She came
And she
hard.
got beat
came
in a
hard.
very traditional jiu-jitsu way.
Yeah,
She did not get beat
That's
with
what was so
anything
impressive. It made
Yeah.
me think, whoa, she got out jujitsu'd.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, Mackenzie Dern's jiu-jitsu was not where it was because she's taking time off.
She played some guard, I think, and stuff, but then she got knee cut.
It wasn't even like she was out muscled or out
No.
athlete. The athleticism was.
Yeah.
The girl was just attacked and overwhelmed her.
True, yeah, absolutely.
And I remember Mackenzie Dern against Gabby Garcia. That's Mackenzie Dern I remember. I mean, she can move. She can handle herself.
Did they fight in
no,
ADCC?
for
They
sure.
must have, huh?
I
Mackenzie and Gabby
saw.
Garcia.
I don't.
I saw the gi match.
I've seen the gi match too, yeah.
I don't know if they did
Yes,
anything else.
They didn't know gi. I don't know if it was the Worlds or ADCC, but you think about it, how is she gonna win ADCC if she doesn't go through Gabby Garcia at the time? That was 2015 that she won ADCC, right?
I think so,
She won
but
twice, I
two
think,
different
was it?
divisions, right?
Yeah,
So-
she went a
Whoa,
weight
they are
class.
two different
Yeah,
divisions.
different
That's true.
divisions.
That's
At,
true.
at that time was only two divisions
Wow.
for
That's
Yeah,
the
that
first
was-
ADCC. There's three divisions. The first time, yeah. Even last ADCC, Gabby lost to. Oh my God! Do you see the love she got Gabby Garcia? And she was talking about it. She's like, man, everybody used to hate me in America. Now everybody loves me.
Her talk after the fight with Craig.
Yeah.
And it was
She
all like-
she was all emotional. People were yelling her name. And it's like
I was
like, this
so
thing
happy
turns.
for her.
yeah.
They made me feel.
In Vegas, everybody, when she lost the final in Vegas or was it the semifinal she lost? I can't remember. When she lost her match in ADCC, she got beat by Brianna St. Marie, I think, who took the gold. And the whole arena was like booing her and stuff
Well, that's
because
because
she wanted
she's a
a
monster.
She wanted
She
a
won it so
replay.
many times,
Something happened, something controversial, if I remember
And
correctly.
I mean, she's just like she's the monster.
Yeah,
Like you
yeah.
want to see the little person win.
Everybody wants to see her losing because she
Right.
just kills all the
She's a
women.
person too.
And she's a person too, yeah. And she has so many titles and
She has
all
so
that.
many titles,
And I
yeah.
remember going to watch the Worlds with the gi, and people would just like boo her all the time.
See, I don't agree with that.
And I know, and,
But I
and then
understand
she
it.
would like, give her speech afterwards, and she was all mad about it, people complaining, all that stuff. So she would just, like make it worse, I guess.
Yeah.
And people just like pile more shit on top of
Yeah.
her. So she has some issues with the crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because also she was, back then, she wasn't like she is right now, like more muscle than, you know, she
Right.
was.
She was
Right.
heavy, yeah.
She was heavy.
Even in her MMA fighting, she was also heavy. I mean.
She admitted on that. I don't know if she has admitted it before, but the interview with Renato Larange and Craig Jones, she was talking about how she was on steroids, like for a portion of her career.
Yeah, there was when she was fighting MMA in
Oh, and she
Japan.
was real
She
lean?
was like ripped.
And I thought
She was ripped.
on her like Instagram and stuff, she made it seem like it was like CrossFit. I was like,
Maybe part of it. But yeah, the steroids over there, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
And she was
yeah,
attraction, let's say. The Japanese like that. Like
Right.
the big
Yeah,
Right.
monster.
in Japan it's encouraged, yeah.
Right.
encouraged
This is all
versus
encouraged.
the smaller.
right.
They like
the big show.
Yeah, they
Not
like
as much
big
as the
show.
Russians love that big show where they
They get
send
ridiculous with it.
two sons to fuck up their father. Did you see that thing? That's crazy.
You're off.
I didn't see
Oh my god, they sent a family minus the mother, of course. They had a cage fight, man.
Really?
Some
They
really
do all-
unresolved issues in there,
They do
man.
all kinds of craziness. in there.
Crazy, I tell you, man. It's all these things, the slap fest. I
Wildcats.
bet you that thing originated there. You know,
Oh, the slap fighting.
yeah.
So
It
ridiculous.
probably did. I don't know.
One thing we're talking about is kind of like one of my questions. Do you think that the tournaments kind of took talent? I mean, I guess it's kind of obvious they did, but seeing Wagner Hosha, and this is not a slight. I mean, I was kind of proud, but seeing Wagner Hosha and Cyborg were both in the finals.
And Lovato.
And
Lovato
Lovato!
also is not young.
I know.
I was
What
like,
happened there?
and look, they looked good. It wasn't like they looked bad getting there, but I was like,
They made it, and I mean,
Look, Nick Rod won heavyweight CJI.
convincingly.
convincing.
Obviously, yes.
Like-
So if he was at ADCC, I think he would be what, minus 99. So a Marigali division, I guess. So
Hey, he's
Well, he
not.
got-
He's at
think-
230, 220, 230. That's plus 99, isn't it?
I'm not sure.
I believe so.
Yeah, he would be either Marigali or
above,
Kainas.
yeah.
Kainas.
I don't think he would drop weight because his whole thing is based on explosiveness and stuff. He went. In,
I don't think he cuts.
Yeah, I don't think he
he
What-
cuts. Yeah.
What was it
Marigali
last
cuts.
time?
Marigali cut because Marigali walks bigger than him.
He looked so big to me
Marigali
when
is-
he got hurt. Michael Pixley.
Yeah.
He looked big. His
And
face
he's minus
looked big.
99. He was minus 99. He's not. Yeah.
Yeah,
What
I
did
think
Nick
he-
Rodriguez do last ADCC?
Silver. No.
No. What weight? Heavyweight? Like the highest
Yeah, I
weight?
don't remember now.
Heavy because
Well, he
Maybe-
went
maybe
against
I think
Gordon
it
in the
was.
finals.
Gordon beat him. Yeah.
In the finals.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was the heavyweight. Yes.
Yeah. So
What was
yeah,
that?
at CJI, I thought that would be Nick Rod versus Victor Hugo because
yeah.
those
Yeah, I
were the
thought so
two really
And
main.
Victor beat him not too long ago in February. He did.
Yes, and Felipe Andrew that went to the finals wasn't really supposed
I
to
was
to
so
go to the
proud of
final.
him. I was so proud of him.
He's a smaller guy and all that
It's a
stuff.
gee guy. Wow.
Yeah, I think the heavyweight division at CGI lacked some talent.
Sure.
You know,
At ADCC.
no, at CJI.
Oh, at CJI. I mean,
Yes,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
If-
because
yeah,
of,
Megali
just
was
the two
there,
guys.
Kainan was there, you know, there
Felipe
other
Pena was
Felipe
there.
Pena was there. I think, yeah, either CGI missed guys or ADC could have had Nick Rod just to round up to make a little more
and
legit.
Victor Hugo.
Yeah, and Victor Hugo, yeah. That would be a little more stacked.
Okay.
But the whatever below 88 or 80 on CJI, it was
It was legit.
It was
Yeah,
crazy.
it was.
Yeah.
it was like
It wasn't any bad any worse than you know
ADCC.
than ADCC at all. I
Yeah,
mean, it
it was
was
impressive.
legit.
no,
And
fuck
ADCC,
that.
same thing with ADCC. You know, the weight
Still,
classes,
yeah.
the heavier classes suffered
Yeah.
a little bit, but the lighter classes made up for it big time because you know the 77, 60, those were all legit.
Legit.
Yeah, especially the one with Baby Shark and all, and they were all. That's the same.
They
the
were all
same,
good.
The same people as last
Right.
time.
yeah, they're all good, and they would be a little undersized if they went to CJI. That's why I think
be
they
undersized.
That's
opt-
true.
they
That's
opted for ADCC.
That's
you
true.
know? That's why maybe next time they add one more weight division at CJI, since they don't have ADCC on the same year anyways. It would be nice.
But if they do, are they gonna be able to afford it? It's $1 million.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Why not?
Could they do that every
700,000
year?
each division.
See, that's what I was thinking about. Make it $500,000 and then 225,000 for. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
but
still
that
a big
goes
money.
against
That's big
money, but it goes against what actually they were saying. It's like you can't. I don't know. It's gonna look like, well, wait a second. Imagine the fun ADCC is gonna poke on them. It's like,
I mean,
wait
I
a
get
second.
it. You can't start with $1 million and then go down.
That's what
I
I'm
get
saying.
It. I get
You
it.
start.
But-
Big. I mean, yeah, they have the financing, and he's saying that they're willing to do the financing again next year. They tried to look at numbers. You know,
But
they
they're not gonna
ran
be able to just-
advertisement and stuff.
Yeah.
They sold the tickets. The tickets were sold. It wasn't sold out, but neither was ADCC.
From what I've been hearing, there was no one at CJI. They did a really good job of hiding how many seats.
Really?
Yeah, I've watched a couple of like podcasts about it, and that's what they said.
Because I know the first match, even at ADCC, they started early. Well, CJI started late in the afternoon, but ADCC starts early, and you can't really judge. People don't show up at the arena until midday.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Right, for sure. And I don't know the difference between, say, when it started to the second day, like how many people were there. But I think I heard they sold like 7,000 tickets.
Who, CJI?
CJI.
Well, 7,000 is about the
I don't know what the
capacity
capacity
of...
of.
Thomas and Mack is 7,000. 10,000 max.
All right. So
But don't forget that behind the... If it's 10,000, if the capacity of Thomas and Mack is 10,000, don't forget that behind the screen, there's nobody. It's like the Coliseum here, you know?
Oh, yeah, right.
It's kind of like...
That's
Yeah,
what
there is
one of
a,
these
like,
people were
area.
saying. They were
And
like,
that's how ADCC is too.
they were saying they used that screen to block all. They said they did
Yeah.
a good production job of hiding all the empty seats.
But Thomas and Mack charged Craig Jones. Granted, it's Friday and Saturday. It's not Saturday and Sunday. They charged Craig Jones $200,000. T-Mobile Arena charged ADCC $2 million. This is 1.8 million difference.
That's insane.
And you don't. You
2 million
cannot
per
just
day or combined for
combine.
ADCC both
For
days.
ADCC for the weekend, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
But so Craig Jones got charged 200,000. So
For the
got
both- for both
charged
days.
1/10 of what they paid. Now you cannot justify $1.8 million with the difference in the capacity of the arena because there's no way they would make that difference up. It was all
Right.
about the prestige of the,
Right.
you know. And I think that was Craig Jones's problem, you know. Like then they hired Michael Buffer. That guy gets $1 million. Probably.
he probably gets a lot.
Yeah, he probably gets $500,000 or something. I don't know. I know he's making good
Who
money.
did CJI have? Michael.
Michael Buffer. Oh, I forgot his name. I forget his name.
Yeah.
I forget his name. I mean, it's
He does Bellator, I think.
yeah, Bellator or PFL, or
PFL,
yeah, something like that. But I mean, it's a big difference in the
They
money,
did it.
you know?
They changed, from what I've heard, they changed a bunch of the production to kind of answer some of the complaints. Like they didn't have the Pride lady screaming forever.
It is a lady. We had to talk about it last time.
I was like,
It
it's
is
a girl.
lady.
He was like,
It
it's
is
a lady. I was like, yeah, it's a lady. It's the Pride lady.
It's a lady.
It is a lady. I thought it was a pride guy. You know what I mean?
They didn't, because they were talking about how people in the stands are in there for hours and hours, and how that gets boring, and they just don't need all of the show. Some of it is cool, maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
But
Oh my
you
God!
know.
Last time, I think this time they did the Hall of Fame on Friday. But last time they did it on Sunday, and I'm like, we gotta get back to LA. I got driving to do. I didn't stay for Gordon's fight, Gordon and Galvao.
really,
No, because it was the super fight was after everything. I didn't stay
It's
for
the
the
last
absolute.
one. It's the last
they're
yeah.
gonna make everyone stay for that.
But they did the
That's
Hall
crazy.
of Fame. They did the Hall of Fame before the Absolute, if I remember correctly. So I'm like, man,
Trying
this
to
thing
keep
is
you
gonna
there.
take a while. We gotta get back to LA. We got back here like at midnight or something.
Yeah.
And it's okay because there is less traffic and all that. But you know, everybody's
Still.
asleep in the car.
Yeah,
I'm falling
no,
asleep.
fuck
It's like,
that.
come on.
Yeah.
And then I come back here. I get in bed. I turn on the TV and I watch Gordon's fight.
And you can go fast forward, rewind, all that shit.
Half an hour fight with Gustavo was 25 minutes.
Yeah.
And I watched the whole thing in bed, and I'm like, I should have done this whole thing the whole weekend like this, you know? Take the weekend off and watch.
Yeah.
How about the
And I
fight with
did it
Yuri?
this-
It was kind of similar in that, well, once Gordon got the dude down, it was just.
Yeah, it was over. It was over.
And I'm not a huge Gordon fan, but his jiu-jitsu is crazy. And I heard some announcers talking about how they were comparing how he looked against Yuri with when he first came to the ADCC and how he was just moving and jumping, and now
Very different.
Very different. He just was leaning on him.
Same thing with Pena.
Just moving, and
Same style with Pena, no?
it was
Yeah,
impressive.
same style.
It was
style.
super. Now he looked a little bit different to me in the Pena fight. It seemed like, I mean, I don't know the difference between Yuri and Pena, but it seemed like Gordon or Pena did way better against Gordon than the last time.
Pena is also bigger. And
Bigger, and he's a guard player.
And
Simon he's a top guy.
Yeah.
So if
And then Gordon took him down,
if
and then that
Gordon
was
took
it.
like 30 seconds, took him down, and then was just like
Right.
pressure
That
during the
was
whole
it.
match.
That's
It
what
went
Gordon
much.
Gordon talks about, that pressure over time thing, and it did just that. Pressure over time.
That was
no
a
mercy. just-
a clinic.
Yeah.
I'm sitting
it
here
was-
going, oh.
It was amazing.
He was just going from move to
and he
taking his leg out, putting it back in,
Him and this,
playing with the
Him
crowd.
and Giancarlo Bodoni did the same. I can't remember. Giancarlo did it on someone. I think in the final. Whoever he made in the final.
Jay Rodriguez.
No, Giancarlo.
Bodoni.
J Rod.
This year, yeah,
This
J.
year,
Rod.
yeah. He did
I
the
was so
same
impressed
thing.
with
He
him.
got in. Was it in the final or the semi-final? He got in half guard, and he just drove his head to the. Remember the one you were doing? Drove his head to the opposite shoulder, and just drove like into the half guard and just stayed there.
Just
man.
stayed
Just
there.
Stayed there, and I gotta tell you, I've
You
been on
could
the
just see
receiving end of
Yuri's
something like
points,
this.
like points, just doot, like his power points.
You
he
can
was
see
just getting more like.
the level.
Actually,
I started feeling bad for him.
Man,
I'm
the
like,
hip flexor, everything is hurting after a while, and then eventually he just passes your knee shield, and you're like, it's a sense of relief there. It's like, you know you're fucked, but it's a sense of relief
Yeah.
because
yeah,
now what?
yeah.
You know?
He made him super uncomfortable.
Yeah, and Giancarlo did the same thing to, I can't remember who he fought, but it did the same thing to him, and it was like with the same effect in the end. I don't know if it was J-Rod, because with J-Rod they had more of a little bit of back and forth
Yeah,
until the end.
their finals match was
Yeah.
really
so
good.
Yeah.
It was good.
J-Rod did really good.
J-Rod is
He did really
amazing,
good.
man. He
He
started like,
is. I was super proud of him.
yeah.
Yeah, he did really good. That was that moment where Giancarlo put the pressure. It was on top, smashing, and that was the moment.
Right,
Everything else was
right,
up to grabs, and J. Rod was.
right.
It's certain moments he was winning. You know, he had the better positions.
And then once he was behind, he couldn't.
Yeah, and it was kind of. I
But
think it
on
was later towards the. Yeah.
He started
the
kind of slowing down a
Yeah,
little bit. He
yeah.
wasn't as
And
crisp.
Giancarlo is big, and is naturally bigger.
He
I
looked
think so. He
bigger.
looks- yeah,
he
he looks
looked
big.
bigger.
Giancarlo is naturally bigger, and if I think they did the weigh-ins now, they didn't do every day.
They
Before they,
didn't.
used to do it every
I
day.
heard him talking about it,
every
right?
Saturday and
So
Sunday.
you can blow back
now,
up.
and this is the final. That's on day 2.
Yeah.
You bet your eyes Giancarlo ate
Yeah.
nicely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he might even cut a little to make his weight.
Oh,
Giancarlo.
Giancarlo,
Because
yeah, but
comparing to J. Rod, he was like, I don't know,
Yes.
15 pounds.
But
and
not
it
on
looked
day,
like
not on
bigger.
day 2 though. On day 2 he looked big enough, but it's just that obviously he wouldn't put on 50 pounds. But that's 88 division, right?
Yeah.
He couldn't go to the 99 because Marigali was there. Marigali didn't want to go to the heavier because they already had 2 representatives there, the South
Dan.
African guy and Dan, Luke Griffith and Dan. So it's gonna be like they're not gonna do that, right?
Right.
So then
3 guys.
yeah, 3 guys. So then they kind of they do that every year and every ADCC, right?
Oh, Luke beat Dan. That's right.
Marigali was in the 99 last time because Gordon was in the no. Marigali was in the 99.
I think so.
He went against Craig Jones in
Yeah.
the previous one. Yeah. Craig Jones didn't cut down to 88. He was at 99. So yeah. And Bodoni is 99 is 88 is how many pounds is that? That's 2.3.
2.2.
2.2.
Where's the
remember?
laptop?
88, that's 90 kilogram. That's about 180. That's about 200 pounds.
Yeah.
Bodoni is definitely heavier than 200.
No,
Definitely
he
walking
looks
around.
like
Yeah.
he's a tank.
So
And J-Rod is so like he's lean.
yeah, J-Rod
He's
is-
He's
and he's a
not
little
the
bit
biggest compared to
No.
him.
yeah.
No.
And the like a big difference. But I mean Bodoni's jiu-jitsu is much better too. Like
Yeah, and J-Rod again doesn't have a good guard still, right? He's a wrestler, so his game is on top too. Once
Right.
Bodoni was on top, he did the best that he could, but it's
Right.
not really.
yeah,
his
we've seen
game.
J-Rod in the past. Like who beat him recently? Who's number one? Just went on top and never left. It was one of those situations.
Yeah,
too, I
yeah,
can't remember.
I remember.
But speaking of Pena and Kainan, they have the pretty much the same problem. They suffer with that thing. Like they do very. And Danaher was talking about that about Kainan, but same thing with Pena
Kainan
seemingly.
kills the game.
Yeah, when come time for ADCC,
7 out of 8 submissions.
Weight and absolute
7 out of 8. Yeah,
double goal.
double goal.
It's
And even Gordon
amazing.
said he beat his record. It was 6 out of 8 submissions. He did
Right,
7 out of 8,
Right.
which is big.
Yeah, I didn't watch all his matches, but he dominated.
He dominated.
So Kainan and Pena, they seem to not show up for like super fights and stuff. They're like, whatever. They'll take the money and they don't show up to like. How many
2
times did they
years
get
from now,
beat?
I think Kainan has a good chance of beating Gordon in 2 years.
He does, and then again, who knows
Especially
what happens
with Gordon's
because
If he's
body
in a
problems.
good day, where everything
Yeah.
collects, I think he can beat.
he could. But what's gonna happen when he lands on his ass on the bottom?
No, he has good guard. I mean, he has good guard. He has like he could, because he's training with Felipe Pena.
That's true.
Felipe Pena, Gordon didn't do anything to him.
He didn't.
No,
That's
even
what I'm
in the
saying,
last
Gordon.
match.
Kind of almost passed at the end or something, but I kind of can learn with Felipe Pena how to deal with the pressure, how
He
to
just didn't look
hold him.
dominant to me. I was like, man, Gordon looks human now against Pena.
It was close. It's a close
It was
match.
close.
Yeah.
But then against Yuri, I was like, oh, Yuri's going to beat him. I was like excited. I was like, man, something is wrong with him or something.
I was
Gordon.
thinking
I was
Gordon
like, what
going
is
40
you-
minutes and he looked gassed at the end.
He looked gassed at the end.
I'm
He just
thinking,
face just
man,
looked
Yuri
like,
is just licking his chops right now.
dude.
And then, he got obliterated.
I was like, oh my goodness. You never know.
Yeah, well, Gordon did what Gordon usually does against everybody. What he did against Yuri, it was just complete domination.
Yeah,
He just couldn't submit.
right.
But then he looked like Gordon. But against Pena,
He didn't look like that.
it wasn't dominant.
100%.
It wasn't like, the best ever. Oh my God, no. It looked like a close match.
Yeah, he didn't look.
I'm like, Nicky Rod will beat that Gordon right
Nicky
now.
Rod has a good chance of beating Gordon right now.
Now, when I saw against Yuri, I was like, oh, okay, that Gordon looks tough.
But still, even then, I mean, I don't know that he's going to be able to. First of all, we didn't see what Gordon's bottom game is right now because he's definitely not himself, and he had an explanation for it, right? He
What do you say?
talked out. Well, apparently he didn't have a camp until like he
Okay,
wasn't even
'cause that's
sure.
what I
he wasn't
guess
even
it
sure
was.
that he was going to participate.
Right.
until-
Because that's why he did the 2 matches instead of doing.
Yeah. So
Let's throw some shit in the fan.
yeah.
He always says that.
That's true.
When was the time that he said it was 100%? I don't remember. There's always, it's this, always that, it's this. He's never, whatever. So, he always has an excuse. He always has an excuse. Oh, I couldn't perform this way because of my stomach. Oh, I submit everybody, but I'm still have my stomach like this.
But look,
you.
win, lose or draw.
Yeah.
Win, lose or draw. His
Yeah.
stomach is fucked up
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
That means it's true. It's not like it's, oh man, I lost, but my stomach, then, hey, I won even with the bad stomach.
I submitted 6 out of 8, a double goal.
I haven't eaten
Oh, my
since Thursday.
stomach.
I haven't eaten since Thursday.
But I did see this and I thought it was funny. And I'm not the biggest Gordon fan, but I saw this and I was tickled and I kind of appreciated it. He was like, if I win, it's because I'm good. If I lose, it's because my stomach hurt.
He said that.
And he kind of laughed, but I was just like, all right. Okay.
Who said that? He said that?
He said
Gordon.
that. If I lose, it's because my stomach. And I was like, all right.
Fuck you. No.
He said that before the what's called before the tournament started. Like,
Did
a
he
week
look
before that.
enhanced to you?
I don't know how much you can enhance yourself if you really have stomach problems like that. I
Look,
don't know what you can do.
Last ADCC, 1,000%.
Oh, he looked humongous.
He had help. Now, I didn't get enough of a look because he was wearing a rash guard this
Yeah.
time. I didn't, I don't want to. If I can't be 100% like last ADCC, then I don't want to. But he looked big, but I couldn't tell if he looked
Last
extra
ADCC,
big.
he had to go through the division, and then
That's what I'm
he
saying,
didn't
he
do
probably
the
had
absolute.
help.
He went to the
Well, he just
superfight. Yeah.
looked. When you just wake up, if you're not lifting weights and you're just super swollen,
Yeah,
I'm just like, I don't.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, one of my students said that the same, like, oh, he didn't take his shirt off or his hash guard off because maybe he's not looking that great.
And that's
And
that's
through the rash
what-
guard, it's hard to say, of course.
It's hard
but
to say.
I saw a bigger.
I don't
Bigger
think that
stomach.
he's on the same
No, that's what I'm
as
saying.
before,
I don't believe
and
so.
that's
yeah.
that's why I was thinking when I first saw the first time I saw him was I saw the match probably from halfway on against Pena, and that was the first thing that came to me. I was like, oh, he's off this juice.
Yeah.
He looks tired. I'm like, this is crazy. I'm about to see him lose, and he won, but I was just like, it just looked different, and I was like, maybe it's that because I know that. Even Brock Lesnar had trouble with his diverticulitis, and you got to do certain, like when he came back to the UFC after that, he was,
Yeah.
because you can't.
Done.
Craig said it best. He's like, they asked me, are you going to compete, again ever in ADCC or something? He's like, I don't know, man. I'm not really training right now. I figured what I'm doing is better. Traveling is better than spending money on steroids.
I mean,
So yeah, I mean, he's found his calling. But he says himself that he's also like kind of lazy in training. He's
well, he went really hard for a good amount of time, I think.
He said that
And I
when he
think
was
you
in the
get
Blue
tired
Basement
after a
in New
while.
York, he went crazy tired.
And traveling.
Crazy training in New York and stuff like this when he was training in the Blue Basement, and he said that a lot of that, besides the bacteria all over the place, but a lot of that contributes to staph. Because you're just overworked.
Yeah.
So
The immune system is.
immune system is messed up. So he said that a lot of it probably had to do with it, and that was the time when he trained the hardest. But then now, and not now, obviously he doesn't train a lot, but when he was still running the B team in Austin, he wasn't really. He would go hard a couple of rounds, and then
Right.
that's it. You're going home. Kind of like Nicky Ryan. Speaking of which.
Look, he was my man. He was my
Yeah.
favorite. He kind of he's like sensitive like me, kind of. I love that kid. And I like Andrew. I like the Tackett boy. Remember we were talking about him?
Yeah, we
and I was just
talked.
like, when those, like, it's him and his brother, they thought that they could win that. Just that mentality.
They were the first ones that signed
I
up.
appreciate that mentality, especially they were smaller. When I saw the younger one beat Big Dan, I was like, this is amazing. This kid,
Was it the younger one that beat
the younger one did it, dude.
And it was like, what, 3 years ago? 3 years ago?
It was a while, right?
It was like
Yeah.
16 years
it
old.
was, it was amazing. Dude, I watched him destroy my man like that. The knee on the neck.
Knee on the neck. Stop resisting.
I
Yes.
am proud to announce to both of you that I did that this morning.
Did you?
I did it. I did it. You know what's great about it? When you put you put it. It's not the knee because you don't have enough control, but it's this part here, like the
Right,
upper shin,
right.
really, kind of like knee on belly.
It's like
across the
knee on belly, but knee on the face.
But when you put it here and you turn their head,
Yeah,
they
it's
kind
a
of-
crossface.
they start- It's a crossface. It's a crossface.
It's bad.
And the guy just turns and he gives you that arm and you just go for that Kimura grip and it's so good because he can't even turn back into you. It's like He wants
Dude.
to.
No, you gotta eat that.
Yeah.
Eat it, or
He got dominated.
I thought you were gonna do that to me on the last time we rode. We went. I'm positive that you were in that position. I'm like, don't do that.
I thought so. I was thinking about
You
it.
were
like
thinking
that.
about doing it,
I don't wanna be.
and that's funny because that was
No,
before
the new thing, the new fad. No. I'm gonna be old school. No, I'm not gonna do this shit. I know what you're talking about, but I'm not gonna
Because
do it.
what do you do when you're like that? Even you're
Oh,
you,
man.
you
There isn't
can't
much
do
you can
anything.
No, there isn't much you can do.
You gotta wait for him to do something.
Yeah, but you give up a lot. Like I said, the arm, you can take the back.
Yeah,
from
or
it.
you're like Nick and even the other guy, Owen, right? Or Flanagan. That I think Andrew
Oh,
Taggart did
yeah.
the same. I think he did the same.
Yeah.
And you just have to eat that shit.
Yeah. It's
Because
so
if
tough.
you're gonna eat, then you're gonna move and you're exposing
Yeah.
the whole thing.
It was
It's bad.
impressive to watch that kid just dominate. I mean, it broke my heart, but at the same time, I like him too. I was impressed. It just looked like Nicky was just overwhelmed from the beginning, and then just couldn't get back into a groove.
Well,
was
Dr.
just on-
Kickass was saying, you
Yeah.
know, he was one of your students.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
was saying that in an Instagram post that, you have I think it was him, he got a lot of bad rep about it afterwards, but you got a professional grappler fighting a casual, Nicky Ryan being a casual, which he's been training like a casual apparently, you know?
That's what I heard too.
That's what
Really?
they're saying. Well, that's what they're saying. Didn't you see the...
Who's they? Because the B team, they've had that
At the
new
B team,
coach.
Craig Jones is saying that the
They've
new
got that
coach is
Coach
making
Dima.
fun of Nicky.
Really?
Yeah, the new coach posted. I think it was the new coach that posted the picture with Nicky throwing up in a trash can.
That's because he's working hard. Talking about? What do you think he just?
Nicky is
Maybe
not known
what-
as a hard worker.
It's hard for him. Right. It's hard for him.
Look,
So
he hasn't been pushed that much.
Everybody did 10
more than
laps.
6 minutes.
He did 3 laps and he threw up. It was,
Look, I know that Nicky had a reputation of gassing, but I was under the impression that this camp, with Dima, they were
Yeah.
focused on tightening that up. So I was looking for the big reveal.
Yeah.
Because I remember one of the B team videos, they asked. I kind of felt bad because they went around and asked everybody, Nicky or Joseph, because they were on the same.
Yeah.
And everybody except for like 2 people, like 10 people, were like Joseph, and a lot of them were saying, well, because Nicky's probably going to gas out.
Yeah,
They already
that's the
know.
thing. And then
But that made me think, if everybody knows that Nicky's going to gas out, then Nicky knows that, and he's going to be working against it. There's no way he's going to go
Yeah.
into this big ass tournament.
and his
when
first match is
everyone
against
knows-
Andrew Taggart. It was like the most unsuitable person.
That's what, dude. I was
Aside from the Rotolo brothers, that
I
was
thought
the
that
most
I was gonna
unsuitable
see
person.
Some craziness, because I was like, I know he's going to be ready. No,
No, man. I think, yeah, who knows? It could.
I hope it doesn't break his heart.
I mean, I don't know.
He had
man.
so many chances.
Yeah.
You know, to prove that he
That-
is the prodigy that everybody says, and of course, technically, he is.
Technically, he's amazing.
It's just the conditioning and probably also mental.
I
you know?
think that has a lot to do with it.
Oh, I'm gonna get into technique. First round, the guy
Right.
doesn't stop,
Right.
and to me, like he went soft a little bit, and then he was pushed. The guy didn't stop. Oh my god, am I gonna get tired of this shit? Like
Right.
everybody's saying that I'm gonna get tired.
Right.
It
And
gets to your head.
then-
It gets to your head.
Right.
And Nick has always been like, I mean,
What do you do to this? What do you do? I've probably asked you this a million times because I've had getting tired things too. What do you do as like a professional jiu-jitsu black belt? When you get tired, like what would you have done in that situation?
Well, earlier, right before, I would say,
Because you can only get in so much shape. You know how much shape that you can get in, but you still know you might get pit against this monster.
against a monster, exactly. I'm also not the best with cardio. You have to play your game, right? You have to stay on your pace. I think he was pushed a little bit beyond his comfort zone, and
Right.
he couldn't get back.
And he got stuck up against the wall, and I'm sure that was unfamiliar too, and that probably spiked his.
Something new.
Oh, I don't. What am I doing? Oh,
I think with him is I think mental the mental side is a little against him. You know, he might believe that I am.
But he did good against
I'm
JT
gas out.
Torres.
That was a great win.
I mean,
That was
That
a
was
great
a
win.
he
great
did, but that match didn't last long.
It didn't, and he wasn't put under.
Yeah.
It didn't seem like he was under a similar amount of pressure,
No.
mental and physical.
Look,
Yeah.
Because there's got to be another way to
hard to
deal with
say.
his pressure, other than the way the Rutola boy dealt with it is just head on. I mean, it's just like, okay, you're coming with me with a fist, I'm going to get you with a bigger fist, and that's kind of what happened.
But then you gotta be able to maintain that. He
Right.
can't. Some people they
The
can't.
Rutola can do that. A Rutola can
Rutola
do
attack,
that.
and most people can't actually. Maintain
that's
that
true.
crazy
Most people
pace.
cannot do that.
Most people cannot, right?
Yeah, so you have to find your pace, But I think it was more than that. Maybe he really didn't train enough. Who knows?
Maybe.
Or maybe he thinks he trained, but compared to other people,
I'm
it's-
waiting for a statement. I usually don't, but I'm waiting to hear. I want to hear that. I'm kind of like with him. Like, I kind of want him to be like these UFC fighters after they lose. You're like, hey guys, on their Instagram or whatever. Hey guys, I'm doing okay. Thanks for the support. Nicky Ryan, I care about him, but I haven't seen anything from him yet.
There's
So I'm
something-
kind of scared that he's like his heart is broken.
It could
and
be.
that's what I don't
It
want.
could be.
he got the very unlucky draw for his first match. I think that if Nicky Ryan had gotten, because it's mental, right?
If he would have gotten warmed up,
If you
maybe.
get warmed up against someone
Like
else,
mentally and physically.
someone that's a good matchup for you, if
I
you know
agree.
you don't have a good cardio, that we're talking about 3 5-minute rounds. I don't know how the fuck he thinks he's gonna do 5 5-minute rounds in the final, but anyway, but 3 5-minute rounds, you can do that. I mean, we do it like when we roll, when we're not professional. We do 1 minute in between 5-minute rounds. And we roll. We can roll hard and stuff like this. You can
5
change.
minutes against
You can
that.
change your strategy for the next round. You say, oh shit, that didn't go well with me. Like maybe I can sit to guard and see what happens. Maybe I can, I don't know, do something. Go out on the wall and come back like.
It didn't seem
Anthony
like there was
Pettis.
nothing was changed.
That's what I'm
He
saying.
kind
There
of
was
right.
He
was-
accepted.
he kept
He was
getting
on
in that
fucked.
horse.
I
Yeah.
got fucked.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
And
He had that one little chance that he got pissed off and
Right.
grabbed the guillotine.
right.
But that way he went like 100% to once he lost that.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Gordon even said, he used to say in the past.
He used to say.
Like, Nicky Ryan's, my brother's better than me. He's better than me. But we haven't seen that yet.
he used to say that Nicky Ryan, when he's in the gym, he's killing everybody.
Even in the absolute. He
Yeah.
would do well. I remember Gordon saying that.
Yeah.
If he goes absolute ADCC, he's going to do well.
They've shown footage of him in the gym and stuff like this. He went. There was not too long ago. There was some footage they showed from the B team, and Craig was going against one after the other against a few people, Joseph Chen and all that. That was like a year ago maybe. And Nicky Ryan was the last one. Nicky tapped him. Granted, Nicky was fresher
Yeah.
than Craig, but Craig is also much bigger. So there is this, and Craig is supposedly better,
Yeah. And also maybe he doesn't feel the same pressure in a
That's the thing,
tournament.
pressure is
he's
mental.
at the gym.
100%.
He's more comfortable.
Right.
All of that. Since he had so many kind of bad experience in tournaments, kind of like one more time.
It weighs on you.
Yeah. And then if things don't go your way, you start doubting yourself. Like, oh my God, one more time, I'm gonna get fucked.
Yeah.
It weighs on you. That's the thing,
Yeah, it is tough. I think with him is, of course, his cardio, but part of that is mental too. He needs, I don't know if he has the motivation to be, I want to be one of the best. I want to win a gold medal. ADCC, CJI, whatever. I'm going to do whatever I have to. I'm going to train like a madman. I don't know if he has that on him. Maybe he's happy with coaching,
I have noticed also that he has put out 3 instructionals, and I bet you they sell like warm bread, but he's put out 3, I think 2 or 3 instructionals he's put out.
Like recently or
No, ever. Ever. That's the thing. It was the guard pass and there was a wrestle up, and I don't even know what the third one is. If
Leg
there is
lock
one.
defense, I guess. One that you shared with me.
Is it the same one? Is it? Wasn't that? Is it Nicky Ryan? That's not
Nicky Ryan leg lock.
That was
leg
that was
lock
Gordon Ryan.
defense. No. Nicky
Oh, was it?
had
Okay.
one chip
Okay.
back.
So 3 instructionals. This
not
guy
a
can
lot.
this guy can shoot instructionals on anything and everything.
Yeah.
He's been a
Yes.
John Danaher student as long as Gordon Ryan, pretty much.
He's for sure knowledgeable.
Oh, yeah. He's got very good teaching.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And he is technical. He can do stuff. He's just, I don't know what it is. It's been like that. Like we have been waiting for years. Like the breakout, whatever you call that. But
You think it was like the injuries?
I mean, here's the other thing. That's what Dr. Kickass was saying in his post. Nicky Ryan is apparently the kind of person that got an ACL injury, and he just didn't do any recovery from it. He just didn't.
And then it hurt,
He got
and
the
then he got
surgery and
hurt
all that,
again.
and he just didn't do the necessary work after the. So that's a level of commitment that you're lacking apparently with him.
yeah, as an athlete.
As a professional athlete,
Yeah,
yeah.
as an
Am I
athlete,
gonna
you
do the?
wanna have your
No.
body like 100%. Even after the
Right.
injury, you do your best. If he's not doing that, it shows. Like
Yeah.
being an athlete is not really
Yeah.
what he wants. Maybe he wants if it doesn't have to work that hard. Like, I want the ADC gold medal
Right.
too, but hey,
Yeah.
you gotta put the work.
Yeah.
And it's you can see there's other people there that are like not as technically sound as him, not as
That European,
not
that
as
English
good.
dude that did well at ADCC, Owen Jones.
Yeah.
Owen Jones, is he English?
He did-
It could be. Yeah.
He was with B Team.
Yes.
The small guy.
Small guy.
Yeah.
He did really well. He made it to the semis, I think.
I think it was.
He was in the thing with Pato and Diogo Reis. Was in the same
Same
one?
bracket. He
Yeah.
lost to Pato. He
Yeah.
lost to Pato. Pato actually submitted him with a sideways ankle
How
lock.
about those Melky Galval boys wearing the
Yeah,
belt?
we were talking about that not too long ago.
When I saw it, I was like, "What is he doing?"
It's the Luta Libre thing,
Yeah.
It's
I mean, I'm like, whatever. I'm not. I don't.
Yeah,
I'm
but
not.
that's-
not
thing.
only them, the girl also. What's her
The
name?
girl. Yeah. Yep.
I didn't see the girl. Which
There
girl?
was one of the girls, Brazilian girl, obviously, but she trains with
From
them.
Was
from
it-
their team.
Yeah,
From their team.
yeah. I believe
Was it the
she's-
one that won the Absolute?
No. The one that won the absolute was
The Australian, right?
the Australian. Her name is Adele.
Oh no, I'm
Adele
sorry.
Fornarino.
I'm sorry, not the one that won the Absolute.
I
She
wanna-
won double gold, and we
I
don't
wanna-
even know.
I
her
want
name.
to watch her matches. I
The
wanna-
one that
Adele?
beat Helena Cravar.
Oh
in the
no.
finals.
You know who Vieira? She was wearing the belt, no?
I don't think so. No,
she
I watched.
wasn't?
I watched her final with Helena, but
Yeah.
she wasn't wearing.
That was only the second time I've seen Helena get
Oh,
beat.
okay then.
So I don't know if the belt
Yeah, Helena
is.
got beat.
I don't know if the belt is related to Luta Livre because that belt is jiu-jitsu belt.
No,
But I
they
think
do.
wearing
They-
it
they
with the
wear it.
shorts and wearing it like Gilas is a lucha libre thing.
That's the Luta
Because
Libre thing, yes.
Melky Galval. That's why.
Because Mika is a black belt in
He-
Luta Livre.
Yeah.
right.
But Diego, I don't think so. Or Diogo Reis.
I don't know.
I
They're all
don't
in the
think so.
same. They're all from the
I-
same team.
Oh, I know
Yeah,
what you're
but-
saying. But
yeah.
he's saying Mika is a lucha libre black belt, but the other one, we don't know if he's a.
I don't
Luta
think.
Livre.
I
Well,
don't
they
think
said
he's
that
a black
Mel-
belt in Luta
Maybe
Livre.
it's just because Melky's.
Melky Gaval was the one who insisted on the whole
Okay,
team
it's only- it's-
wearing it.
He probably was like, if you don't let me wear this, and we're going to CJI.
I don't know what it was, but I mean, I don't see a problem with that. For me personally, it's like
It's just
whatever,
something
you know?
different that I was like,
I was-
oh, that's weird.
Remember, I was wearing. I mean, I don't care. I was wearing like a
Sambo.
gi top and shorts.
Yeah.
In class because, I wanted to see what it feels like because
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah, if they allow,
If they
people
allow
go
it,
shirtless,
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah. I mean,
Speedos.
I saw a good question. Somebody pointed out online. Okay, so if that's the case, am I going to be allowed to grab
No.
him to grab? And
I
you
heard
should.
that. I
and
heard
you should.
that.
You know what?
I don't think so. I can't grab a
It's
shirt.
part of clothing. You're right. If it's no-gi, it's part of the clothing. But still, I mean, think about it this way.
I get what they were saying, but I'm just like,
It's not part of the. It's not part of a uniform. If you go to a jiu-jitsu tournament somewhere, no gi, you can't even wear gi pants. It's the last time somebody was wearing gi pants, and it was not in my weight. It was not in my weight class, but we were going through the same entrance, and they like, no, you can't go in. And he's like, oh shit, and then he went to look for shorts from somebody else. So I don't know, because he did the gi first, and then he was doing no gi. He didn't bring shorts. So if that's the case,
Yeah, it depends also the rule. I don't know
Yeah.
what the rules are really.
because here's the thing. Remember when Eddie Bravo was fighting with his pants on against
Hoyler?
And
Madam
he said
Morris?
that, and he said
He
he
said
did
it-
it so he can get better friction when he gets to the electric.
Yeah, but he said
Which
if he
is true.
didn't,
That is true.
he said if he wasn't wearing something, then he would have submitted Hoyler for sure. Oh, his pants, because Hoyler was holding on to him.
But that's the thing. If you're wearing pants in a no-gi thing,
He said it was a part of it was like going back and forth, and he was like, okay, I'm gonna wear this. And then Hoyler was like, okay, that's cool. And he said he wanted to say no, but it was too late. Something like that.
well, but you do gi and no-gi both. Imagine you show up with gi pants and the opponent says, well, you can't do that, because imagine get to a leg lock or something and I can't get out of this thing, and
Well,
and
there
say
is
if-
definitely more friction.
yeah.
There's
So if
definitely-
I would say no, I don't agree to that unless you agree to me holding the pants when I pass the guard,
Right.
or I hold you in side control and I grab your pants and then
They
good luck
should have had
escaping.
him
You know
just
what I
wear
mean?
the same thing, so there wouldn't be any kind of.
Yeah, but that was Eddie Bravo's thing, to wear the pants, and I guess it was only fair that there was some kind of counter to it. Yes, you can wear pants.
He did
but-
say though, if he
'cause-
wasn't wearing those
because
pants,
he was also wearing
he would have
ankle
broken it off
sleeves.
because Hoyler could hold on to him at
Yeah,
the
yeah.
end. I remember I talked to you about that, and I was like, man, it looked like Hoyler did the same thing in
20
the second
years
fight 20 years later than he did in the first one.
Same thing. It was the same game.
And
It the
I was like,
same
dude, you think you
game.
would have just looked, because that 10th planet stuff works if you don't know, if you're like, I don't know what is coming,
I remember.
because it was sneaky.
I remember they had the interviews before that, right? And then I remember Eddie Bravo saying, hey, since our last match, I don't know, like 15 years ago, I know that I've evolved. I changed my game.
Right.
I don't know about Royal. So he came and did the same shit.
The
same
same
shit.
thing.
And he got fucked again. So, oh my God.
I know people like that. I know
Oh,
people.
man,
I don't
it was
know.
tough
I
watching.
don't know black belts, that many black belts so to be able to tell. But I know people like that. I know people that haven't changed their game from white to probably black belt. Like I see that. But
I was
I'm
going
like,
to ask, what you did a breakdown of when Gary Tonin got armbarred.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did a little thing, a little short or whatever, and I watched it because I saw that happen.
It was
And
brutal.
I was like, I didn't know how because it happened so fast. So it was funny that when you did it, I could kind of see it because you got the little cursor going, and I understood what was going on. And somehow he was going to the K guard or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, when you were coming up, when you were getting your black belt, there was no K guard.
There was no cake. There was
The Matrix, no?
similar things.
Okay.
Similar
Because I'm like,
things.
do you keep up with newer things? But does that necessarily mean that you incorporate it? I wouldn't think so. I don't know though. Would you incorporate it into your jiu-jitsu, or do you just keep up with it because you're a professional jiu-jitsu instructor type? You know what I'm saying? You need to keep up with how jiu-jitsu is evolving, even if you don't introduce it to your own personal game.
Yeah. I try to keep up. Sometimes nowadays there's so much
so much.
stuff. You can't really it's impossible to watch everything and there's so much free content on YouTube. I don't know, hundreds of thousands of instructionals everywhere. So, you can't keep up with everything, but the most used things you have to know. You have to know. Even though I don't do K-guard. I don't do whatever they're doing now, like backside 50-50. This is not part of my game. you know.
But you can recognize it
I
obviously.
can recognize, how do you say,
Well, you've drilled it. You drilled it with us before. I remember the,
yeah, no,
the
I,
backside and
yeah,
the
yeah,
K
I
guard.
drill, I know what it is.
You can
I can
do it. You
I
just
can
don't,
do it.
Don't play it.
I just don't play it.
Yeah.
It's not really, and I'm not interested in playing.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not interested.
I feel like that about things too.
Yeah.
Some things, you know. I feel
Some
like
things that I look, I say, yeah, this is gonna fit well into my stuff, and some stuff is like, okay, I can see it, I can recognize coming, so I can defend, but yeah, oh my God, yeah, you can't implement everything on your game. You have to. If you wanna play around just to know how it is, yes, but to implement it, you have your game, right? The game that works for you. You should focus on that expanding, sharpening,
Yeah.
but no, like
Setups and
change
follow-ups,
absolutely, you know, yeah. That's not. I don't like hugging the leg, you know, from half guard I don't like exposing crossface. That's not my style. But
I remember.
it's effective.
Yeah, I remember. I'll actually answer your question because I remember when I was white belt in the beginning. When you were teaching triangle, you were teaching it different than you're teaching it now. Just regular bottom front triangle from the bottom. You know, you used to teach it the way it was taught before. You know, arm across. You know, pull on the head and all that stuff. You stay. Now you're angling and doing it the way you know you actually been doing it in rolls and stuff.
Yeah.
And
So yeah, I don't know if a lot of things, but I definitely changed some stuff that especially teaching, some stuff I don't teach that way anymore. I had changed because that's how things evolve too, right? We have to accept that.
Right.
No, even if you watch old videos of Helio Gracie demonstrating an armbar, today it would be like horrible.
Right. It's not gonna
White belt, like first week, they would do an armbar like he was doing like 90 years ago. You know? Yeah, things have to evolve, and I try to, you know, stay updated. Lubo, Axel, when you guys bring new stuff to me, you know, because again, I don't have time to investigate everything, and I bet you don't have to, but you are looking at some stuff that I'm not looking, so you can show me, you know, and I can show you some stuff that I know. Axel is working on something else with Addison, and okay, bring it, then we can study, we can talk a little bit, then I learn too, you know, otherwise, like, I have to sit in front of the computer like 24 hours a day.
Right.
There's so much stuff out there. And if you are a competitor, also, you have your game, right? You don't have to, you have to know everything,
Right.
but you don't have to do everything.
no, you put your A game on the line and
A
you're
game,
you're
I don't see Gordon Ryan doing K guard.
he's not
That's not his thing.
no. He teaches it too. He teaches it and all that, but he doesn't play it. He does some inversions from half guard, but they're more like backstep inversions from bottom half guard and stuff.
Yeah, that's more
Kind of like what
his
Craig
style.
does. Yeah, Craig does that, but
Chasing the far leg,
yeah,
secondary leg, inverting.
but he does it. He doesn't do it like what's his name? Levi was doing it, for example. You know, like looking for that, and which brings me out. I meant to ask you, what do you think about the Levi and Cade final? Not asking who won in your opinion necessarily, because opinions differ greatly. I was disagreeing with Axel on this one. Axel thought Levi won. I thought Cade won.
I definitely think Cade won.
Yeah,
But
I thought Cade won, but I understand why he says Levi won. I understand that too, but the thing is, I think that Axel just thinks that, from what I gathered from our conversation, that he thinks that Levi won more rounds than Cade. There is no argument about the last 2 rounds. Question is about the third round, and that happens in MMA too. You know, in the UFC, there is always this question about who won the third round, because it's obvious the last 2 rounds were won by this one, the first 2 rounds by that one, but who won the third round is and I thought that Cade won the third, 4th, and 5th round, but the real question I'm trying here is like, what is the? Do you think that there are 2 questions here?
And I have one also.
Yeah. Do you think that it's the whole thing should be revised as far as rule set in terms of sitting down? I have a good idea about how it could be done as far as sitting down from even with contact, because the contact doesn't mean anything. The contact doesn't mean anything when there is no. In IBJJF, it makes sense because I can take advantage of it and score it as a takedown. You know, when you make contact, you know that kind of gamesmanship, like whoa, and then boom, they give me a takedown because you decided to pull guard. But in this kind of rule set, I grab your wrist with 3 fingers and I sit down and it's contact. Yeah, whatever. You know, it's not like you're gonna pass my guard.
It's not gonna change much.
No, it doesn't. Makes no sense. But do you think that compare Cade's semifinal to his final, 2 completely different matches against Tackett and against Levi?
Completely
different.
Completely different.
And who do we prefer to see? Which one did you prefer to see? Obviously, the more entertaining
The
one.
more entertaining.
Yeah.
With Levi was, for me, at some moments it was hard to watch. Like, I don't want to watch this shit anymore.
Definitely.
You know,
And it was
like,
5 rounds of it.
Yeah, 5 rounds of it, but technique-wise,
It's-
he is
it's
a
superb.
technician. Yeah.
But you really should. I don't think you should be able to win a match by defending 100% of the time. That might be. Elio made jiu-jitsu so little guy can defend against a big guy. That's the point of jiu-jitsu. But in sport, I don't think it should be rewarded.
But he was trying to attack. It's just that Cade stepped back every time. That was the argument about the 3rd round. That Cade was engaging, but then as soon as Levi went for anything, really, he would step back because Levi was playing with his legs over, you know, like lassoing and all that stuff.
Very tricky and very dangerous. That's why Cade couldn't. It looked boring somehow because Cade couldn't really.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he would overexpose himself. He knew the danger. It was dangerous, a dangerous guard. You know, and then
you would have to pull back, and that was the argument right there.
yeah, you have to disengage.
Is
Otherwise, you're gonna
Cade
run into shit.
attacking the guard, or is he actually defending from the guard, defending from Levi's guard? And that was the argument about the 3rd round. And after that, Cade started going like forward, and he started exhausting him. Which leads me to the second question: how would you have passed that guard? Like, not are you? I'm not asking are you going to pass that guard. I'm asking how would you have approached it?
It's a tough one. It's a tough one because he has answers for almost everything, you know. And Cade tried going forward, going around, speed passes, pressure passes. He felt in danger, you know. It's a tough guard. Probably the best. That's why. That's my question now. What would have happened if it was 20 minutes straight instead of rounds?
Instead of breaks.
Cade could have
25 minutes.
25 minutes, right? Could have used more pressure to, over time, tire Levi. So that's the thing about the rules too. Like people are saying, "Oh my God, it's the best thing ever." Yeah, it's good, you know. But the reality also is that there is no perfect rule set. There will always people are going to exploit the.
There is
rules
there is no
and,
perfect rule set. I do prefer to see rounds personally.
I like the open scoring too.
I like the open scoring. I do prefer to see rounds compared to even if they have to go 25 minutes straight versus. But you bring up a good point. What if this happens? So
Yeah.
And also, like I was talking to Mike, what if it's 25 minutes, but they do just like who's number one? Every 5 minutes, the refs say, "Hey, who is winning?" Who's not?
yeah.
It could be like that too.
That's open scoring too.
Yeah.
That's open scoring because
That's openish scoring.
it is open because at the end, if they draw, if there is no submission at the end, the one who accumulated more
Yeah. The one who
more
won
favors,
more
yeah.
rounds,
Yeah.
yeah,
And we're
whatever.
talking about 25 minutes straight. That means five flags. It's the equivalent of 5 rounds
Yeah,
open scoring.
Yeah, open scoring, yeah.
Yeah.
Just like they do who's number
And
one.
there's three judges, I think, in who's number one also. There's one on each side, or 2 judges or something. But it could have 3 judges. 2 out of 3 win you the rounds. You know.
Yeah,
So-
it's like an open.
So there's no
It's more
interruption.
of an open decision leaning.
Yeah. It's not.
Because with the
10
CGI,
must
there's more
system.
right. There's the
Yeah.
scoring because you can win,
You can win 10-8, 10-7. You're right.
and
Yes,
the other
yes,
dude can come
yes.
back if he gets like a 10. You know, it's just more that can happen. But I get it.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. Because there's no points. Not
One guy can get a
point scoring,
10-8
but
in the
yes.
first round, and then and the other guy can. There's just more things that can happen
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
scoring,
Yeah.
depending.
Yeah, if you win a round 10-7 and then the other guy wins the next 2 rounds, you're probably still going to win the match.
Right.
If it's 3, yeah. So just because of the 10 must system and then, but no, I agree. It all depends on.
It was interesting, and I think it was a good experiment.
Yeah.
It's definitely not like perfect or anything, but I do think it lends to a more dynamic show between that and the walls.
I think that. Do you remember a couple of years ago we spoke about the Rotolo brothers, how they're opportunistic in their approach to jiu-jitsu, like they're scramblers. They'll cause a chaos essentially, and catch you inside the chaos. And
Almost like a Gary
and
Tonin.
since then, yeah, Gary Tonin is
He just
very
throw himself
similar
into
to it,
something,
very similar
and
to
then
that
see-
kind of style, and he got caught by Tyro
got
Tonin in that
beat.
style too.
Right.
Yeah.
There was-
They out Gary Tonin, out Gary Tonin.
yeah, they pull the Gary Tonin on Gary
Yeah.
Tonin. But the thing is,
Yeah.
that's who they are. But that style didn't work against Levi. And my question here would be, what I would rather do.
It did kind of
if
work.
I were to,
But not as-
But
It wasn't
Not
as
as-
entertaining.
Yeah,
What people
yeah.
were expecting.
now, if you think about body lock passing, which I know you're not a big fan of personally, but we all know it works. It works for Nicky Rod. It works for Nicky Ryan. That's quite perfect against someone like Levi, who is chasing legs from the bottom guard, right? Because in open guard, you're in deep waters against leg attacks, right? In open guard. In half guard, sort of also a little bit, but in a body lock, that's why people choose to go to their knees like Nicky Rod does. You go to your
Didn't he
knees.
try to do that on
Cade didn't.
Levi?
Cade, I didn't see Cade
I
trying to
don't
do
But
it.
he
think
couldn't-
So. But I don't remember the match as much. But I don't think Levi was playing sitting up. I think he was more on his back, like De La Riva versus De La Riva inverting. So it doesn't give much chances to.
That's true too. That's
I don't
true.
remember
But I mean,
correctly. But what I can remember is Levi on his back,
right?
inverting and playing De La Riva
Yeah.
versus De La Riva.
but if Cade goes to his knees, if Cade goes to
Which
his
I don't
knees-
think he went.
No, he
much,
didn't. That's what I'm
right?
saying. I don't think he did at
could.
all.
He could have
I
to
think
try
he
something
tried
different.
knee cutting. He tried knee cutting, knee slicing, and Levi threw that leg over, the lasso leg over, and he tried it a few times, and that's about as static as he got throughout the match. Everything else was going around and trying to north south and stuff like
It
it.
gets frustrating, I'm sure.
Oh my god!
And tiring too.
So
Like how
frustrating.
long can you keep going side to side?
But how
side to side?
tiring
That's
was
kind of what
that for
happened to Jay
Levi on the
Rodriguez
other hand,
too.
too?
He's just
Yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah. It's got to be tiring for the dude on the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was. You can see that in the last round. It was like he was really like worried in the last round, and you could see it in his face. He was
Yeah.
panicking a little bit.
That's
because
why I would like to see like 25 minutes straight.
it would make a
Then
difference.
it would make a difference. One of the two would get tired, probably.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's interesting.
Yeah. That's
Maybe also talking to you, Mike. Maybe next event for the initial rounds, instead of 3 rounds of 5, could be like 1 10-minute round and another 5-minute round. In that 10-minute round, you have split in the middle 5 minutes. The ref says who is winning, whatever. Just to have a little more, because it's hard to catch a good black belt in under 5 minutes,
Right.
Yeah.
especially in the first round.
Right.
Like, oh my God, it's hard. If you give them 10 minutes, there's a little more chance, but also it might slow down the pace. So there's all those things.
Right.
It's hard. I know that people like to see like a high pace,
Yeah.
non-stop action. Of course, it's much more fun. But
That's the problem
There's
with getting
also the
stuff in the
negative, too.
Olympics. You gotta just switch rules around to try to accommodate the audience, and before you know it, you've got
but
a neutered sport.
so that's another question I had specifically because of this match and comparison to the Cade and Andrew Tackett match. I think that the way to get in on ESPN is
I saw that question.
is the Andrew Tackett match, because there's no other way, that there's no
No.
way in hell that the mainstream audience is going to be like looking at the Cade and Levi match and say,
No.
"Oh yeah,
way.
I'm going in the gym
No
tomorrow."
way. It's just like basically what people always complain. IBJJF. It's the same shit.
The same thing.
It's like, what are
Same
they doing?
shit.
Thing, man.
Well,
Right.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom, take a shit, and then I
Right.
come back and I
Right.
take a look
Let me
at
ask you
this.
something. If you do not know anything about jiu-jitsu, and I'll tell you because I felt the
Yeah.
same way before I started training jiu-jitsu. I don't know anything about jiu-jitsu, and I see two guys in kimonos on the ground. Both of them are wearing white. I can't tell whose arm is whose leg is whose. It's like one. It's literally how I felt that before I started training jiu-jitsu. And then
Nothing's happening here. What's going on?
first of all, you don't know what's happening. You don't know who is who, but you don't know what the goal is. I don't understand what they're doing. I understand there has to be because right, you know, it's like submission. There has to be a submission. But I mean, you've seen UFC and you know, okay, maybe a Kimura, maybe they can choke him out. But why are they? How are you gonna choke me out if you're laying down, you know, on the ground and I'm in front of you like this? And then I'm thinking, how is this gonna happen? And now, not knowing anything, you watch that match and it's the exact same thing.
It's the exact same thing, yeah.
So what is the purpose of this? If you watch this for 25 minutes, if you stay awake for 25 minutes to watch it, you don't know anything, right? You're gonna be like, what is the purpose? And you come to me after that and it's like, what was he supposed to do
Right.
all this time? You know, why was he?
Why is he
And
laying
now
down
I'm gonna
like
be like,
that?
well, here's the thing: the guy on top was trying to get to the side, past his legs, and then what? Probably nothing. He probably would just get the points, and the other guy would recover at that point. You know, that's probably what would happen. But he would win on points.
The
And what about
announcers
the other
are-
guy?
are
Well, the
pretty
other guy
good.
was gonna go for this attack and that attack, and he's like, "You lost me, man," and they're never gonna tune into it again.
Yeah,
But if you
it's-
watch the other match,
Yeah, it's also the styles, right? The style, like they say, style makes matches,
The
whatever.
clash of styles
Yeah.
for sure.
It's just like he has a style that if he had better wrestling, he could wrestle up and make it more entertaining.
Right.
But he was too content on being here. I'm gonna catch.
and Lachlan
Cade
kept
with
telling him,
something.
"Stay with it, stay with it, stay with it. Don't deviate." You know, Lachlan kept. You can hear that.
Well, because it was working.
It was working.
It was working, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
He
And
stopped
Lachlan
Cade. He
knows
stopped
Lachlan
Cade.
knows Cade's game inside out because I've seen him do a breakdown. First of all, he got submitted by Cade in last ADCC, but Cade passed to north south and then he took an armbar on him because Lachlan put stretched, and Cade Lachlan did a breakdown on it, and you could see that he very elaborately studied Cade, and now that came in handy in this case. And from a strategic, you know, perspective, that went perfectly for
It went
Levi.
perfect. It went
You know,
almost all the
yeah,
way perfect.
almost all the way. You know, to the point where we're arguing who won. But
Yeah,
the thing
who
is,
won,
yeah.
exactly.
But the thing is that gonna take you to ESPN?
Yeah, but it's not. It's not Lachlan or Levi's job.
No, it's
to
not.
get jiu-jitsu
That-
on ESPN. It's their job to win.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like, people
That's
used
what
to
I'm
always
saying.
get on
What-
GSP about that. He's so boring. I'm like, dude, he's a winner. And that's what his job is.
Yeah.
I get, you want to put on a show and everyone loves a show.
But then also like, will Levi be invited next time with his
Right.
style?
That's a good point.
I'm not sure.
Right.
I'm not sure.
Next
People, of course, most people will not like. You can say, "Oh, I'm a guard player. I like to study everything." Yeah, of course we can study that, and it was a good demonstration of a high-level guard. But
his
in a
other fights
tournament-
weren't as.
Man, they were all like this, man. He won against everybody the same way.
He
from
won
the-
against everybody, but it didn't seem as. Maybe it was because the finals was longer.
That's
Maybe.
But it
More
didn't.
time.
I wasn't watching like the first two fights I saw. I wasn't watching going, oh man, this sucks. I just wasn't doing that.
Yeah.
I was just going, okay, well, man, this dude is good. I was.
But you know it's gonna be over even if it goes on. Yeah, it's one more round and it's over. You know, this
Yeah.
one you're watching it and you're like, this has been going on for 15 minutes and it's about to go for 25. And it's the final, and you know that this is the
Right.
final, and it's sad that the final has to be decided in a controversial way because it's boring too.
And also $1 million in the line. No one wants to make a mistake.
Right.
So Cade, maybe if it was earlier rounds, maybe Cade would have taken more risks. I think also, what if it was
And he beat his
Tackett
brother.
versus Levi? Would Tackett like play conservative too, or he would just go madman like he did on the previous matches?
That's true.
I think that's all that kid knows. I would imagine. I don't know.
I think so too. I think
I
he was
think
fuck
he's
this.
serious about
I'm
it.
gonna go for it.
I heard him do an interview. He was like, "My brother and I, our goal is to make jiu-jitsu exciting.
And they're
That's
succeeding.
what we're
and they're
about."
Succeeding.
And I thought that was pretty cool.
And also, yeah, okay, he goes madman and he loses. Oh, he lost a chance of winning $1 million, but he's in the final. He did well. He's gonna be invited for other things. He's gonna
People
get
like him.
sponsorship.
He's
He's
got-
gonna make
right.
some money
Yeah.
back. That's for sure. You know.
I think that
He
Levi
wa-
is going to get invited because Levi is Lachlan Giles' boy, and Lachlan and Gregor are
And he's
tight.
Australian, and
He's
Craig is
Australian.
Australian,
And I think that he will get invited definitely. Just like the guy who submitted Victor Hugo, he's also Australian. He was a
Oh,
last-minute
gosh,
replacement.
yeah.
And he will get him. He won the $50,000 for
Best
Yeah.
submission.
best, yeah, something like that. I
Because
mean,
Attack It won the 20,000 for most exciting fighter, which I was proud of.
yeah. Oh yeah, for
That
sure.
was a nice heel hook, though. It was crazy.
It was a backstep, bro. That was like
Yeah.
that
It
thing
looked
was,
so easy.
and that's a good time to plug in your courses. But I remember that in 2016 you did. I was starting. I was a white belt, starting, right? Starting, not just a white belt. I was starting at the end of 2016, and Gustavo had just published his course on what was it called? Ashigarami, no?
It was the Ashigami, then yeah, I think it was
That was your
Ashigami.
first course, I think. The Ashigarami, and then
The
you did
second
the back.
course. Second course. Then I did one half guard passing, smashing half guard later. That was doing also the back step as a way to pass the,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
half
yeah.
guard. But yeah, so it's on both.
But I remember you did that before Danaher ever blew up with. You did it from studying
Them.
the Danaher Death Squad, right? The Gary Tonin specifically, Eddie Cummings and all of them, Gordon Ryan. But I remember that this was what was taught at the time. I remember Marciano teaching that thing. I remember everybody was teaching that. How do I
not
get,
new. It's
how do
not
I get
new.
to that honey hole, that saddle thing? How do I get?
Yeah.
Well, you step in and then you back step and then you collect the legs and then you heel hook the guy and I'm like, does that even work anymore? Anybody does that thing, you know? And then this guy does it to Victor Hugo and I'm like, Victor Hugo knows how to defend
Yeah,
legs.
no,
He knows. He has
no.
great guard for a
no.
big guy. It's not like the 30 seconds of of Victor Hugo that we saw is not Victor Hugo.
It
really.
looked like he wasn't expecting
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
He
I
looked
think
like-
it was like, yeah.
Like he didn't think that was going to
It
happen.
caught him by surprise so completely. Like he was like,
Yeah.
no, this is not happening.
And nobody does that technique anymore. That's
Yeah.
like that is nobody does that
Taza
technique.
does. Taza does.
Taza still
all
walks
the
and
time.
back steps?
All the time he walks and back
I
steps.
didn't know that. I've
When he
seen-
comes on top, that's what he does.
I've
He
seen
doesn't
him-
pass.
Yeah.
He just go for that.
Taza did. How did he do this ADCC? He went to third place, fourth. Or something.
I don't remember. Yeah, no, he lost. Maybe.
He lost.
Second match, maybe he lost.
So quarterfinal.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, he doesn't have a good record. He's got like hundreds of matches and he's not. He has positive record, but it's because not in terms of trophies and stuff.
Yeah, no, he's super good too. But I think he focuses too much on leg locks still. He has good wrestling too. Yes, but
He does.
he's not. His focus is too much on leg locks. It seems to me. If he broaden up his game, pass the guard a little more. Like insist on passing. He has good guard. He has excellent defense. It's hard to submit him. Mount escape is great. But his game on top is getting in, knee slice and backstepping. He rarely tries to pass. Or when he tries, it's just a little bit. So I think his game is not complete. It feels like to me, But he is extremely dangerous. If he gets into one of those positions,
Yeah.
he can finish you.
Is he like mainly like a professional like athlete?
Taza?
Like he makes his living.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
He's professional. I mean, he's got sponsors and stuff like this. I don't know.
No, man, he's excellent. It's just like competition tournament wise, he's too one-dimensional. Maybe even at the gym, I don't know, but he needs more.
Well,
To reach a elite level, he needs to, work on the holes on his game.
Yeah.
He's very good at the stuff that he does, but then the rest is kind of it's missing. There's some missing pieces there.
I think that he racked up a lot of wins at the time when leg locks were relatively new to other people. At the time when Eddie Cummings was
Right.
working, the EBIs, that kind of.
Yeah.
I don't think he was participating in those
When
EBIs.
it was the
but,
new meta.
But I think that he did. Yeah, when it was the new meta in the 2016, 15, 17. But the thing is that after that, I mean, people are like, the little Brazilians, man, they grow up with that thing now. It's not like when you had leg locks besides the straight ankle lock when you were growing up.
We had
Knee bar,
yes,
yeah.
we had, but not heel hooks too, but not even close.
It's
to-
crazy now. It's like physics.
Yeah, and now it's a science, and it's been like that for a while. And these
Yeah.
kids that we're talking about, like Mika Galvao, he grew up. He's 20 now.
So crazy.
When I don't know when he started jiu-jitsu, but when he was 12, 13 years old, those heel hooks were already a thing, And by the time he was allowed to do them, probably at 15, 16, those things were a thing of a past,
Right.
So it's like, of course he's gonna know those things, and to think that you can, like you said, that you can actually base your whole game around that because this is your best submission or best, I think that it's.
Yeah, nowadays we don't see as much. Well, we still see, right? But it isn't like it was before, like you said, like 5 years ago, 6 years ago. Everybody like leg lock was the shit.
Right.
Now everybody
it worked.
knows because it worked, and because there was a huge difference of knowledge.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Just like
people
jiu-jitsu in the
didn't know
beginning.
how to defend. They didn't
Right.
know what was happening.
Yeah, like jiu-jitsu in the UFC in the beginning.
In the
Nobody
beginning.
knows what's up.
They
You got a
don't
bunch of
know.
wrestlers that are willing to put themselves in a triangle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
but nowadays, most people know. Pato, the little guy, he submitted that guy, Owen, whatever you were saying.
Yeah,
John,
yeah.
Owen Jones. He
yeah.
submitted him. Owen Jones is a specialist too, leg locker. And Diego Pato
Yeah.
now is showing like.
And he got him
oh my
quick,
God.
I think.
Yeah, he got quick. So yeah, people know, and they should know nowadays. It's just one more thing. It's just
part
one
of the
more
game.
thing.
Yeah,
It's part of the game.
Yeah.
Just like mounts, side control, anything.
But the entries get so complex.
They get more sophisticated because
And then
there's
the entry,
more.
well, the entries, and then defending this, and then attack
the
it.
combos and the transitions. It can get super intricate.
But it's not only that. If you look at back takes these days, if you make a list of all the back takes that you know, not that you do, but that you know,
Right.
I mean, I'm sure you're gonna get to probably 20, and then you're gonna miss a few because you don't remember. That's back takes we're talking about, right? And then what do back takes lead to? Not just the chokes. Obviously, you can go to armbar, you can go to the mount, you can go back to back take, and stuff like this. So it's not just the leg locks. The rest of jiu-jitsu has evolved too. It's just that.
Everything.
And
everything.
we're not thinking about it. We're thinking about the leg locks, like you said, the complexity of and the sophistication of all the entries and all the transitions into the leg locks and all that. But the same applies to the back takes.
Well, I think it's the fashion driven by the sport. Like in sport, for a while, leg locks were the cool thing.
Yeah.
And that kind of disseminates to the culture, and then everyone wants to learn leg locks, and then that will change
that happens.
slowly.
and it happens.
Like it
Yeah,
was
right.
like Berimbolo was the shit.
Right,
Deep half guard was the shit.
right,
Then leg locks. Then what? Wrestling.
right.
Now it's
Right?
wrestling. Yeah.
Wrestling. Everybody. Now people don't know gi. They don't play turtle. It's just all fours now.
Yeah.
Right? So things change for the better. No, for the better. Everybody. Techniques get better. The whole art gets better. It's nowadays like you see the kids, the level of the kids that are
Yes.
competing.
It's crazy.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Black belt level.
No, definitely. Yeah.
Black belt when they are like 12 or something like that.
Definitely.
It's crazy. The
Yeah, it's
level.
amazing.
Sorry. It has evolved so much.
I do agree that they should not be awarded, even if they are at the black belt level, they shouldn't be awarded black belt because simply they can't, at that age, at 12, 13, like you said, they can't really compete against an adult black belt. It's just not.
Yeah.
It's not, their bodies
Yeah.
are not evolved as such.
No. Yeah, and they exactly. Their body's not.
No, I'm comparing it to like
mind.
taekwondo and karate and stuff like that. So you
That's
get a black
different.
belt
Oh, the
at
other
10 years
turns
old.
into that, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're a, like they always say here, right? You say you go to your family reunion and they say, oh, I trained jiu-jitsu. What belt here? Blue belt. Oh, you're not black belt already? My son is 11 years old. He's a black belt and whatever, you know? And then you're like 30 and you're a blue belt. Like, you know?
Like looking down on
You're
me.
like, fuck. No. It's
that's
okay.
tough.
It's okay to be like that. You
Yeah.
know? At least 19 years old to get your black belt.
Yeah,
I think
it's-
that's
Yeah.
It's
still the.
totally. Plus, I mean,
I think you should for sure be like an adult.
yeah.
You should be.
Yeah, like
You should have a
adult.
certain, like no matter how good you are, you should have a certain mentality
Yeah,
for
a
sure.
black belt, you're a dangerous person. You know, as a kid, really, like you should be able to kill someone if you need to. As a black belt in jiu-jitsu,
Right.
you know, give that power to a kid. I don't think it's.
Responsible.
Not only that, but I don't think a kid can actually do it. Like I compare my son, who is 13. He obviously doesn't have the skill of black belt. We're not talking about the same thing here. But when you see him against an adult who is not skilled at all, he just gets overpowered. An adult who is not skilled at all, he gets overpowered. He doesn't get overpowered by kids who are not skilled anymore. Like now he's doing a lot better, so he's better at that. But my point here is this: regardless of, I mean, look, you get on, someone
You
gets
might be
there.
able to choke somebody who's on
Yeah,
the
yeah. You get on the back and then you choke somebody out, but you don't have the strength. Like I legit think that one of us can defend a choke against him by pulling this arm down and tire him out from just
Probably. Yeah.
just pure strength and determination on my part. I'll be able to defend that choke. Maybe I'll pass out. Who knows? But but
He
No,
could
but
choke out
it
his
is-
like
it is
classmate though.
very
But you
possible.
can't do that to an adult. In other words, if he thinks a rear naked choke adult, and I try to pull, probably gonna pass out. I'm probably not gonna be able to defend it.
I mean,
So,
2 years though.
but that's what I'm saying. So you give a kid, no matter how skilled he is, you give him a black belt at that age, he's just not strong enough to be able to outperform an adult, even an inexperienced adult.
Yeah.
Unless he
'cause
gets lucky.
I think in jiu-jitsu, black belt means something more than the other martial arts. I think you're a black belt. You are,
It's based on
you
a
are legit. You
legit-
can really defend yourself. You are a dangerous person. You're
Yeah.
a dangerous person. If you want to. So, yeah. For the kids, I think it's okay to stay like that.
Do you ever hear from Lucas?
Oh, it's been a while, man. I
Been a while.
don't. I don't know if you remember Adam. He was a student from Lucas. Lucas used to teach him, a private student. He used to teach him. Now I teach him. He's a black belt already, like 2 stripes, 3 stripes. And sometimes he says, "Oh, I talked to Lucas the other day, blah 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 blah." But me personally, I don't.
Fabricio lives in Brazil.
In Brazil,
Is his brother out here?
he's still here.
At the school?
Still running the school,
there,
yeah.
Okay.
Still there.
I pass by it from time to time.
Yeah, sometimes
Look
me too.
in there.
That was
I did see one day I was driving by and I saw what's the dude's name? He had 2 kids, 2 girls. He's a black belt now. He was a purple belt back when we
maybe
were over there.
Julio, big Brazilian guy or
Not
not?
that. Okay,
No.
I remember him. Not him.
Yeah.
He was shorter. Oh, he wasn't black, but he was kind of darker.
Brazilian or no?
He's not Brazilian.
2 kids.
2 girls, and I think they just graduated. Like one of them, they were
Oh,
older now.
Leo.
Leo,
yeah,
I
know,
saw
I know.
him.
The
close-
Cuban, yeah.
Shout out to Leo. I saw him, and
Leo Maquera.
I wanted to stop, but I couldn't. And he was. It looked like he was busy, but I was like, it was just that I recognized him while I was
Yeah,
moving. I'm like,
yeah.
oh no, I can't.
Yeah.
Oh God.
He
bless
was
him.
here for the last
For the promotion?
Quintet.
Oh, Quintet?
Oh,
Quintet,
really?
He was here because Verdun team was
Verdun's
here.
came, yes.
Yeah, he was here helping
He's good
coaching the
people.
guy. He's
great people.
He's the best. Yeah, he's the best. Black belt too.
I had a good time over there.
Yeah,
It was cool over there.
He was savagery.
I tell you, that's where I got the they don't do it anymore. Even though you kind of did it, but the gauntlet.
yeah.
But when I got it over there, it was like
Was
You were
legit.
telling
Was
me about it
legit.
just
I
the other
got
day. Yeah.
Scars.
I went home. My sister was like, "What happened to you?" I was like, "I got my new belt. It was all blood vessels burst, dude. It was nasty. The next day, it was horrible. I was so proud.
Yeah, no, it was.
It's a little bit different over there.
It was a little different. Yeah, whatever. I stopped doing these things because people were like too.
Yeah, I
Too
mean, I'm
sensitive.
proud that I got that, but times are changing.
Times have changed. Yeah, times have changed. I agree too. Like we don't need that.
Yeah.
Especially for a hobbyist gym.
It's right.
Man, if you were a
100%.
competitor, if you're this, you want to be a world champion, then okay,
Right.
let's go.
Right.
Let's go. But obviously, you don't need that. You don't need like to do like 300 push-ups either for warm up.
Because if you people that would want that, even here, you can find it. You just go to certain classes,
Yeah.
and you come in at night or whatever, But yeah, you don't want to scare people.
Speaking of the warm-ups, I like the idea of warm-ups for the kids classes. Now that I don't teach kids classes, but I go to Albert's classes. When he goes and I see, and I'm like, man, they actually they do like 15-minute warm-ups, but it's like warm-ups that I would probably skip, definitely.
Yeah.
That's probably. but at my age, it's like you have a limited mileage left. It's like an old car that you don't want to run on the freeway every day.
It's still fast,
But
but
yeah, it's
it's gotta last.
Lots of power.
yeah, and you gotta put and you gotta put the best gasoline, which we don't always do, right? Oh my god.
I put it in all the time, but it's a drag.
But you watch the kids, man. They get stronger, they get faster, they get more athletic. With that.
They need that.
They don't fucking slow down.
Yeah.
You can do it like I watch him go, and then they're all like, and then he looks a little tired, and then
30
and then
seconds.
30 seconds later, I'm turning and he's kicking me. He's like I'm like, what happened? You were tired. He's like, I'm still tired. I'm like, all right, but it's good for kids, for youth, maybe for competitors too. It's a good idea. But yeah, and to the point of age, what do you think about Cyborg and Wagner showing up and Lovato showing up? Now, I don't know about Lovato, but I'm not going to put it past him either. What do you think about, we know that these two use PEDs, right? Right. I know also that I recently learned that in the Masters, in the IBJJF, they don't test for PEDs.
No.
And there is...
Only adults.
is it
Only adults and only black belts.
Right.
Good fucking reason.
And I thought it was
why.
only in the ones that made it to the finals, and then it wasn't all of those. It was
Yeah,
still
exactly.
it's
Yeah, not
probably
all.
random, yeah.
It's just those who go to the finals.
right.
But what about brown belts, no?
No.
I just heard it was just
No,
black
not
belt
yet. Maybe one
finalists.
day.
Maybe in the Nogi brown and black belts, because they're a mixed division, no?
IBJJF.
Oh, they're
no,
not? No.
Maybe they do.
It's because it's so
No game black belt.
expensive.
Yeah.
That's what I mean, it's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
expensive.
Imagine doing all black belt athletes. No, it's not worth
Yeah.
It's not worth it. For
it. I just
them.
get the
But they don't
finalists.
they don't do it for the Masters because at our age we fucking need that shit.
Dude.
It's like there's no way that you're gonna train like with the intensity and you don't take something, man. This is like
When I looked at those
People that have been training
guys,
30
I
years.
was like, they look good for being,
yeah.
and I'm not hating.
No, it's all good.
Because they've had great long careers.
Yeah.
They're professional athletes. I'm not a professional athlete, so my goals are different. But I try not to hold myself at a high standard as a professional athlete that's probably getting help.
Yeah, it's.
I was amazed. I'm like, these dudes, like,
Oh, how many ADCCs they have done? I don't know, 5 ADCCs or
and
more.
when they got in
not-
trouble, it was the IBJJF, right?
IBJJF, yeah.
Yeah.
And not just forget about the tournament itself. Let's say
And Mika was too one of
let's
them that
say
got in trouble.
Mika was, yeah. That's why Rutola got the title.
Kainan too,
yeah,
I guess. At some
Kainan,
point.
yeah. The that whole gym basically. All the musketeers in
Shout out Fight Sports. That's Fight
no,
Sports.
yeah, no, I mean, but Kainan. Yeah, Fight Sports too. I mean,
Yeah,
Mika,
Fight Sports,
and they're all
They started
and
the
Wagner and Cyborg, but
Atos killed ADCC.
They did
This year,
yeah.
They killed the game. I was proud of them.
They killed the game,
Finally,
and
that
they
was
also
good.
killed who's number one here in Costa Mesa a few months ago, like 6 months ago. They did
Yeah,
very
they are
well.
on the
So home turf,
rise.
yeah.
They are.
Yeah, but I don't think I mean, with the tournament itself, let's say you go there, you push through a couple of matches, even if you don't get to the finals or whatever, first round, quarterfinals, maybe semifinals, that's 3 matches, that's 10-minute matches, but the training for the camp, there's no fucking way you do that without anything,
Yeah.
There is no way.
Especially because it's
At that
not-
age, at that
it's-
age.
At that age, and there's no test anyway, so.
Yeah, there's
Like I know some guys, they are proud of saying that they don't take anything natural, right? Natty, but most of them, like I don't know the numbers, but 90% maybe 80%,
yeah.
they are taking. They to train at that level.
For sure.
Yeah,
hard
The
every
recovery,
day,
the recovery is
Going twice a
impossible
day,
without
2 and
that
3
thing.
times,
Yeah,
dude. I
it's
don't.
not. As far as I know, I've never took, but it's not to. Of course, you gain strength, you gain explosiveness, all that stuff, but it's mostly for recovery.
For
so
recovery.
you can train next day
Right.
like an animal. So, it's if it's legal. Even Gordon says it takes.
Yeah. Yeah,
He
then-
finally came
It's
out.
it's okay. Pride back then. Everybody.
That was
was
different.
It was like you had to
You
take.
had
You had to take. You had to take.
The Yakuza come visit you.
Well, yeah, no. Entertainment, yeah. You're more aggressive. That's what we want.
Dude, their prides were crazy back
Look
in
at
the day.
Vanderlei.
But no, like, their
I used to
faces were
watch-
like this, like
Oh, and they were.
a ball in the.
It was like watching professional wrestling except real. That's what I remember because every dude was a character. Every dude was
Yeah.
like a superstar, was promoted bigger than life.
Yeah, no, it was crazy. Yeah, steroids, just part. ADCC also always been like that.
Yeah.
Always been like that.
So in the beginning when they had the wrestlers, it was like Mark Kerr, all those guys in it. That's a question I did have kind of too. Do you think it was the rule set difference between CJI and ADCC? CJI had 2 super top level athletes, Jason Nolf and the dude, he won heavyweight. He's from Penn State. His last name is Kirkleet. Something like that.
He faced
He's an NCAA champion.
He's NCAA heavyweight champion.
Philip Andrew, I guess, first round.
Both of those guys their fights were like,
Well,
they weren't
Kerfleet
necessarily
doesn't have-
dominated, but they got beat. But compare that with Nicky Rodriguez, his first ADC, or say the old guy, like the initial ADCCs like Mark Kerr and these guys, where they could do substantial damage, these wrestlers, against these jiu-jitsu guys, which I was always like, man, what's the answer to that? Do you think it was the rule difference that kept the wrestlers in CJI down, or do you think jiu-jitsu is actually is catching up to where we really won't see that anymore?
Well, I think it's going to be hard to see that a pure wrestler doing well
Right.
because Mark Kerr back then had no jiu-jitsu, right?
Right.
Like zero.
And Kirkfleet is the same.
He has zero
Yeah,
jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, but he was a fucking animal, right?
This dude was
On
an animal.
steroids.
Right.
And this
These
guy
are
too.
scary.
I mean, I don't know if he's on steroids, but he's an animal, But yeah, man, back
And they
then,
were handled.
Yeah. Nowadays, these guys, the jiu-jitsu guys, they have better understanding of wrestling. Some can wrestle,
Right.
Also, I think back then, I don't think cutting weight was a thing in jiu-jitsu.
So these monsters are cutting down.
They're cutting down. They, it wasn't really. nowadays that they understand that. So I don't know, hard to say, but I think also overall jiu-jitsu got better. Jiu-jitsu as an art has evolved, in terms of techniques, sharpness, everything is more, because there is more interplay with wrestlers nowadays
Right.
too. They understand like what do I need to do to beat a wrestler.
Yeah.
The wrestling game is more known for the jiu-jitsu guys because there is so much exchange nowadays.
You had the Rutolo standing up with Jason Nolf. He
He
didn't
basically
sit
the whole time.
the whole time. I was super impressed.
It
He
was,
did not.
it was amazing.
He did
got
not
he
get
got tossed a
dominated.
couple of times, but he didn't get taken down in the sense of
Right.
the rules of CJI and ADCC.
Now the walls, they used the walls well.
Yeah.
It helped him, but I was super impressed. Remember when he had him in that triangle? It was at the end of one of the rounds. He had
Yeah.
him in a triangle, and then grabbed his leg and had him was bending him. I was
Oh,
super,
that was that was quite painful. It was like,
it looked like
yeah.
he was about to. He was close to tapping.
Man,
probably.
we've seen that with wrestlers.
It was like
You see,
bend backwards like
whoa.
this.
you see that
Yes.
in wrestling. You see that in wrestling. People do that kind of thing when they try to tilt you.
Yeah.
And they do that kind of painful, like, I don't know what it's called. There is a name for it, and Tyro. But to me, the fact that he got Jason Nov in that position
Right.
is quite amazing, because a wrestler of that caliber doesn't get caught in this kind of position.
Well, I think he used. There was some shenanigans with the wall and stuff.
Yeah. There was
Because
definitely.
I think Jason Elf was trying to take him down, and that's how he got that close to the legs to get
Yeah.
into that triangle. And then once he was in the triangle, it was on. Like, it just looked uncomfortable, and he was stuck. And then he grabbed the leg, and I was like, oh, man, what is he going to do
I
there?
think that in the past, when ADCC first started, there was two types of competitors. There was the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guys, the Jiu-Jitsu Brazilians, and the American wrestlers.
Sure.
Because in Brazil, at the time, wrestling was not like...
it wasn't a thing.
it's not a big thing now either, but it's a big thing among the Jiu-Jitsu people now.
Well, maybe like anti-wrestling.
But they didn't... If you train in Brazil, which
Yeah,
was
wrestling
the
in
case...
Brazil is now is better. Back then, 20, 30 years
Yeah.
ago, it was like
So
inexistent.
the American wrestlers did not have exposure to jiu-jitsu guys to know what to do necessarily. And I mean, by the first ADCC in 1998, I guess, there was UFC already. So they've seen those wrestlers. They've seen, okay, so this is, you get a cut in a triangle here. There's the arm bar. There's this and that. But, you could always slam them and stuff like this, So they counted on that kind of intensity that they have. The jiu-jitsu guys had seen some, but not necessarily the Brazilians that were training in Brazil at the time. They were not training in America. I mean, Jean-Jacques has been in America for some time already, But there was a lot of Brazilians who came from Brazil, fresh from Brazil, right? And I don't think that they had the necessary knowledge on how to deal with wrestlers.
I
That's
would
why
agree.
wrestlers had more success back then. And now it's just so, integrated,
Right.
And also back then, the Brazilians would go to ADCC mostly like training gi. They would
That's
just
true.
take off the gi for like a month before or a week before. So yeah, they didn't have much. The no gi wasn't as developed as it is today. That's a fact.
Right.
No gi was like. I remember just training like once a week on Friday when I started back then in
Most of
97.
most of the gi gyms here do the same thing now.
Yeah.
They do
So
the
it's
same
still,
thing.
yeah, still some
one,
gyms.
one-
yeah.
once a week,
Yeah,
and
once
they
a week.
can fill up a class.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
I told you I was teaching the seminar to my friend Arthur. Roof, shout out to Arthur in Seattle.
yeah,
He said, "Oh, we tried no-gi here, but it doesn't. People don't want." I think also
Really?
because of the weather. Maybe it's colder. I don't know. But we tried no-gi here, but people don't want. And then we did once a week, and also no people showing up. Where I don't know why, right? Because here in the US, I think
It's the opposite.
it's the opposite. No gi is so popular.
it is popular. Yeah,
But at the
it's
same
not-
time, there are
it
some
depends on
gyms
the
that
gyms.
it's mostly gi still
Yeah.
here,
Yeah,
and they still do well.
they do. Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's I remember the gym that I first started for like a couple of months. I was doing like once a week maybe class there, and I remember that they had one class a week, no gi. It was a Friday, like you in Brazil, like traditionally Friday, I guess thing, and it was a Friday at 6 or 7 p.m. prime time. They couldn't get enough people. They had to cancel that class. They couldn't get enough people, but their classes filled up for the gi, right? So they had like a couple of classes a day, and they filled up for the gi. And we're talking about 8 years ago, 9 years ago, so it wasn't that long ago. But even now, they don't do a lot of no gi. So there are gyms
There are
in
gyms,
LA.
yeah.
I think
It's
amongst
not a weather
normal
thing,
people
I
off the
think.
street, when they think of jiu-jitsu and they want to learn jiu-jitsu, they see it with the gi on.
True.
But I think people that are already doing jiu-jitsu or have been doing it are more influenced because the market is more, it's more exciting to look at no-gi on TV.
Yeah.
So that everyone wants to take it off.
It's more relatable, to
It is.
someone in the street, no gi.
It,
Like if you look at it, because I mean, yeah, we all wear clothes, but we don't wear gi in the streets, and it's like,
yeah.
and
I still-
no gi is more relatable to MMA, which most people are familiar with.
Okay. I won't argue against that. I just remember back in the old school days, the best gi dudes were also the best no gi dudes.
Well, they're just the best. They're just the
Like a
happen to
Marcelo
be the
Garcia,
best.
like like guys like that, even Hoyler, like kind of what you were saying about the early ADCC days. The dudes that won were like the best gi
Yeah.
guys too.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't really no
There
gi
wasn't
much.
it wasn't separate.
Yeah.
It wasn't made separate until Eddie Bravo did it, but it wasn't made big until Danaher. I think the Danaher Death Squad really made it.
Well, they had the Eddie Bravo platform, the Invitational EBI,
That platform
actually made it
blew it up,
popular.
but-
Yes, I think that Eddie Bravo
10th
thing
Planet?
has done more for jiu-jitsu.
He's
than-
done a lot for
than-
jiu-jitsu. I appreciated him. He said he invented the whole 10th Planet stuff so that jiu-jitsu would have a better chance in MMA. And I totally 100% respect that goal. And they have gotten super big. But until Danaher came along, I think it was taken more seriously by the market and then blew up after that.
True, because 10th Planet was, I mean, it still is, but at the time 10th Planet was very, from what I remember at least, they were very like one-dimensional in their own thing.
Kind
And
of.
nowadays, if you watch someone like PJ Barsh,
They're
PJ
way-
Barsh is 10th Planet, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you watch PJ Barsh now compete, and
He
you're like,
almost beat Mika, by
Yeah.
the way.
you would, yeah, there was a closer match than Mika's final. You wouldn't think that, you would be like, there's nothing that screams 10th Planet with this guy. It's not like, because if you watch the old school 10th Planet guys, you watch
It's different.
the Martinez brothers, and
It's
there's
different.
all that rubber guard, Nathan Orchard, obviously.
Super athletic
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
weirdness.
So now it's
That
like
does
so
work.
blended together,
Yeah, they are more seems like open to the traditional.
because they want to win.
They want to win.
Yeah, they want to win. Yeah.
I just don't remember anybody winning with the rubber guard. I mean, with all due
I
respect.
always was curious about. I was like, they don't use a gi, but you've never seen them at ADCC,
Yeah.
like winning.
Yeah.
And then Danaher came and reinvented the no gi game, and all those dudes are good. Now everyone's kind of like looking at them for the meta, and then I think in the EBI being the platform that Danaher used, I think that was kind of the pivot when 10th Planet started kind of changing a little bit from their
thing,
tight
their
style
thing, yeah.
to opening up to stuff that kind of
EBI
works
was very
more.
very well populated by 10th Planet
And
guys.
God bless Eddie Bravo for coming up with it. I mean, that's what really blew him up.
Yeah.
I mean, he's had 10th Planet for, forever. But that really brought jiu-jitsu to another level, I think. It made it possible for it to be where it is today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the no gi, right? The no gi.
For
Yeah, he was the main guy for no gi, and then Danaher students, and Danaher too, of course, took to next level, I think, because the 10 Planet, they would have they were not successful in terms of winning competitions, right?
Right.
At the highest level. But the Danaher guys were. They were beating the best guys that were with the gi, the Brazilians gi guy. And then I think that's like, okay, now we have, Americans have some idols here, some people who can beat the best guys in the world, even though they were gi guys, but doesn't matter because the gi guys were beating the no gi guys before anyways.
Yeah.
And then
They were just
changed.
better. They were just better at jiu-jitsu, yeah. So
and then the specialists who were 10 Planet, they were not.
I just think they were
They
at
were
a
not.
higher level as the.
They were not like as the Danaher guys, like superior, like winning consistently. They would have some wins, of course, but not really against the best consistently. They were not. And the Danaher guys were like, okay, we are no gi. We are beating the best guys in the world, multiple-time world champions. We are beating. And then I guess the gi guys, especially Brazilians, had to. Well, we have to invest some time in here too.
Do you think people have to become like Danaher Death Squad? They, other than 10th Planet, they were the first time I was like, oh, these dudes only do no gi. They're strictly no gi. They're like super specialists, and they kind of made it cool, like what I was saying before. Do you think that that's like legitimate? Because what I like Mika Galvao. He's the best gi and no gi. The Rutolos still compete. They still.
Yeah, they just won, I guess, world championships with the gi.
So they're kind of. I like that. I just have a thing with the gi. I don't know. That might be what it is. I might just have a thing. Because these younger kids coming around, it's like the gi doesn't mean anything. Craig Jones talking about, is the gi dead? And I'm like, I see where they're coming from with it, but at the same time, the gi kind of created it all. So I just see I don't know if I would have, if it became no gi, if jiu-jitsu became no gi, like say in 5 years, I would
only no gi.
Only no gi.
Or mostly no gi, yeah.
Like right. Yeah. Like guys that did the gi are kind of looked at as like
jiu-jitsu is no gi.
Jiu-jitsu is no gi, and if you put a gi on, it's like weird. Like I would feel bad about that. I'd be like, damn. Because first of all, I'd be like, what is Haleo thinking? What is Haleo thinking? What would Hickson say? That's crazy to just totally throw away the gi. I don't know, and it might be because I'm stuck. Because I started with a gi.
But it all comes down to this. It all comes down to supply and demand. And I'm not talking about, there is a bunch of gyms, that like we say, they're losing money on no gi class, right? But, so they do gi naturally, right? And they have competitors that are good at gi. But if you look at what attracts the viewership, that's what we're going with here. That's mainly because we're thinking about.
I don't think the viewership should influence the entire art, though. Well, it could influence the sport jiu-jitsu aspect, and I love that, but jiu-jitsu should always be some fundamental things. I wouldn't want it to switch into what we're talking about with like taekwondo.
Yeah,
or even judo.
I don't think that this will become a thing, though. I don't think that they'll throw away the gi altogether and say.
I don't think so either. No, I just would hate that to happen.
But I think that it'll take a natural course with if jiu-jitsu becomes mainstream, anytime soon, it'll be probably no gi jiu-jitsu that will.
I think it's becoming mainstream.
Because it is and it isn't. You would think it is, but
yeah, but.
I remember when purple belts were running schools,
Yeah.
Just when I thought that is going to remember what you're going to say, but just as I thought that until the semifinal, I was like, this shit is going viral, man. We're going big, and then Levi comes along at the final, and then we're back to flow grappling and YouTube.
Burn this shit.
Man, that went to ashes. What were you gonna say? You forgot?
Let me see if I remember. Yeah, no, I just forgot. I had in my mind until like 10 seconds ago.
I did hear from a couple of podcasts that I listened to. One is Jiu-Jitsu Oracle, shout out, they're pretty good. But they said from what they heard from different people that were at the CJI, that a lot of people were saying that was their first professional jiu-jitsu experience. Like they never, like people that didn't do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, this is pretty cool. Like overall, they enjoyed the show without having like jiu-jitsu background.
So I think that's the thing that I remember what I want to say. Like the way that's being marketed too is not jiu-jitsu, it's grappling.
Yeah.
No, so ADCC is grappling. UFC, Fight Pass, whatever it is, that they have the it's grappling. Oh,
Yes.
Whatever they call. I don't know. They don't call it a jiu-jitsu tournament.
It's
Right.
It's a grappling tournament.
yeah. If
WNO.
it's 5 pounds invitational, but
Fight Pass
it's
Invitational.
a grappling.
But
yeah,
when they
it's
say
grappling.
they don't say
They don't say
They don't say
jiu-jitsu.
jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
They don't say jiu-jitsu. So yeah, I don't know if jiu-jitsu is gonna become mainstream or submission grappling, whatever they wanna call.
Yeah.
Because also it's not only jiu-jitsu guys, right? They have the Penn State guy competing in this.
Yeah,
grappling tournaments.
they have guys from Sambo coming in, like
Right.
Yeah, the whatever it is, Russian or
the Russians doing. You know,
East
the,
trials winner. One
yeah.
of those guys were
Yes.
like a
yeah, the guy that
a
beat
wrestler.
no, who did he beat? He beat Dorian Olivares from New Wave.
Yeah.
The guy that beat him. Yeah, he was like he beat him. He beat him well. I mean, very skilled guy. But
is that primarily?
yeah.
He's not a jiu-jitsu guy.
no, wrestling and sambo. That's what they do. It's jiu-jitsu is they learn it as a kind of like we learn wrestling in our classes. You know, it's
Right.
like it's what works from wrestling for me. You know, we don't learn wrestling as in you get behind and you score 2 points. We learn it as to what works for us for jiu-jitsu specifically. So that's the same way they do it with those guys.
So grappling like
It's a grappling art, and then they learn another grappling art
Okay.
simultaneously to see what's gonna work for them, and that's it, But it's grappling altogether, It's not just because nowadays Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is understood as the classic gi,
Right.
Or even like, are they gonna pull guard and play Levi type of game? Because jiu-jitsu has that reputation also.
Right.
That
So it's, I think, I don't know, the way the things are now, it seems like it's going towards grappling or whatever they want to call that. To turn into, it's already going mainstream at UFC,
Right.
Fight Pass, whatever. They are having those things. Polaris, what's called? It's like the jiu-jitsu tournament? I don't think so. Right? Let me just.
I can't remember what it's called. Polaris is it's grappling.
Because I think
It's
ADCC
grappling.
is submission wrestling or submission.
Submission grappling.
Like
I think,
on
or
the
something
logo.
Like that, yeah.
They definitely don't call it jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, no, submission.
No, yeah, it's
something.
submission, grappling, I guess. Submission.
Yeah. I mean, it's exactly what it is. Now, and even Brazilians, they say this is not jiu-jitsu, right? This is not jiu-jitsu. We don't do the gi, we don't do that.
Yeah, but they don't know what they're talking about.
Well, yeah, but my
because-
point is, they can't get offended that you don't call it jiu-jitsu either, because they themselves say it's not jiu-jitsu, first of all. And second of all, jiu-jitsu is not exactly a Portuguese word or a word in Portuguese.
No.
It's like
I mean, the way whatever.
the way it's spelled,
the way
yes,
it's
yeah.
spelled.
But who knows how it's spelled because you spell it Jiu, and then jitsu is jitsu. But in Japanese, it's like who knows how it's spelled in Japanese in their letters, and then we're just transcribing it as to what it might sound like to us. So it's
no, it is.
That's what it
part
sounds
is-
like to Elio, so that's what it sounds like to me.
yeah. But it's fine. It's like you call it whatever. Look, to me, what's more important is to call it what the public wants it to be called. So that it catches on, because that's only then people are gonna make money out of it. until then, it's going to be whatever the market allows you to pay the athletes. You can't. Now, can we make a case about not paying $2 million for an arena for 2 days when you can pay $200,000? And if you do have the $2 million within your budget, spread it among the athletes? Yes, definitely we can make that case.
Yeah,
You know?
it has been proven.
Yes. I mean, it was, yeah, you can definitely make that case. You had that money in the budget. There is no reason why you rented that big space and so on. But that's in the past now. Maybe it's going to change. Maybe
And they
this
also
is,
fired that one dude that was running all of that, promoting, the one that was talking crazy to
Seth
Craig. Seth.
Something, yes, yes.
Seth Daniels.
Yeah, whatever his name, yeah, the one
Whatever.
that
Went crazy.
sent him
Death threats.
yeah.
He was the one that was really into like all that craziness and was just spending money. And then when people would like complain, he would like talk back to him like, "Shut the fuck up." And I do what I want. You're a loser. Like he didn't care. And I'm like, dude, you're a promoter. You're supposed to be. You're not supposed to be like that.
Look, I've seen Mo. How's his
Yeah.
name?
Mo Jassim.
Yeah, Mo Jassim. He also replies back.
Crazy.
I've seen his when he posts shit, or he doesn't give a shit. You know, he also.
Because I heard he would like he would be on like Twitch. He's into games or whatever, and he would just donate $35,000 to a streamer. Which I'm like, dude, if you spend your money how you want to spend.
Mo has a lot of money.
Mo has a lot of money.
He's got
but
money.
people would be like, dude, why is this person coming to your tournament getting no money, and you're giving this Twitch streamer with 3 watchers $35,000?
Well, but that's the whole thing, right? It's not a charity. It's not a charity towards the athletes. It's supposed to be a business where unlike what Craig Jones did. Craig Jones did it from as a different model. It's not a business. It wasn't meant to make money. That's why he was able to pay so much money, because somebody gave him the gift and then he spread the wealth. But that was the whole idea.
I think it's the same too, right? It's non-profit. I mean, it's
supposed to be a profit already. It's been 30 years.
Yeah, I think it's not. I really don't know what I'm talking about now, but I don't think it's meant to be lucrative and super profitable. It's meant to break even.
Is that so?
Because I remember in the beginning, like Prince Tanoon or whatever, he would just donate. It was when it was over there, it was just all his money, and it was just as a demonstration, but an exhibition of jiu-jitsu.
He would, but there was no way to make money at the time anyway. But eventually, something like that should start producing money, and it is making money apparently.
Is it?
So, well,
that's what I'm saying, because if he's spending $2 million on renting the thing, I don't think he's concerned about making money. He wants to break even, or I don't know how much he's looking for to make money, but I don't think he's not running as a business, because he could have done something much better.
Because if you're running as a business, why are you spending all this money on the Pride lady? If you don't need that, spend it on other stuff.
Yeah. So how much money are you making? Are you making money with what? With the tickets? Is that all? Or the streaming too? But
even more so then. Even more so. Why wouldn't you pay the athletes?
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So,
Even more so.
100%.
You're not making profit because you don't care about the profit in this case. Why?
There's something
why
going
you pay the
on.
athletes?
Right.
So, and that's the whole thing that Craig
So-
Jones was fighting for. Like, why are you spending all of this or this and
Why are you spending money on
giving
Michael
nothing
Buffer?
or very little to the athletes?
Right.
Or,
But I see
don't
what
know
you
if
mean,
it's
though. You're
cultural,
saying
I don't know.
35,000 donations, stuff like.
Now that's not
That's his money. That's not the budget for
right.
ADCC.
People were complaining. They're like, dude, I see all this money. I see you spending money, your own money, so I know you have money. I see ADCC spending money on the Pride lady and Michael Buffer, but I also see a dude that got second get nothing.
Yeah.
So that's kind of
But
messed
that
up.
happened in CJI too. I mean, he got show money, but he got nothing out of the $1 million, right?
$10,000
No,
for
yes.
showing
Yeah,
up
yeah, yeah. He
and
got
doing
the show money,
doing
yes.
an open mat is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got
And-
the show money, yes.
Yeah, but ADCC has no show money.
That's what right. That's what makes ADCC look that much worse.
That's the thing, yes.
Yeah, it is. There is something really. That's why I think Craig Jones was Mo Hassan. What's his name? Mo Jassim.
Mo Jassim.
I think he felt, being poked in the ass a little bit. Because
Definitely.
He moved.
Right.
You know, he added one more division for the
100%.
girls.
He raised their pay.
He raised the
He
pay.
raised the pay
He-
for the
He did
girls.
other things.
He already had an effect on jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, already.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was saying win, lose, or draw.
Yeah.
They already changed, so I already won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe next ADCC, I'm betting
We'll
that
see.
we're
They might
gonna
have some
see
show money.
other things.
But
There'll
there's
be some
there's
show
so
money.
many more ADCC competitors though, right? Than CJI. So to give everyone $10,000, it just seems like I don't know
Well-
if that could scale to this ADCC size.
That's a lot of. Well, yes.
Because
Correct.
ADCC always also might make money because they're all with all the trials and I mean they have a lot more. ADCC is not just the tournament every year, every 2 years.
Yeah.
It's a whole bunch of other stuff too. CJI as of now is just this one thing that happened that was a success, but we'll see.
What about the ADCC Open? You gotta pay for that shit to go and participate.
Right.
That's a business right there.
Right.
It's like I was doing a calculation on Jiu-Jitsu World League. You know, it's also a traveling show, and you get like 5,000 competitors over 2 days, over a weekend.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. They rented the football field in Fullerton College down the street, right? And it's for 2 days. I mean, how much could they pay for that on a weekend?
Right.
You know, it's not that much money. The school would be happy with a few thousand. I mean, a couple of
5,000 people at $60
5,000
plus per.
No, it's like 100,
yeah,
100
it's
bucks.
100 bucks,
Early sign up is at $80, I think, or something like that. But otherwise, it's 120.
Yeah,
So
it's a
$100
$500,000.
bucks.
That's $500,000.
$500,000 in 2 days, and they pay a lot of like referees and judges and camera people and all that stuff.
Yeah, all that stuff.
But how much do they
Plus
pay them?
the rent,
How
yeah.
much do you think they paid
Yeah, they're making
the
money.
guys to referee there? I don't think.
Yeah,
they-
it's not much.
Couple of $100
Leandro works
for the-
as a filmmaker too.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna say anything, but
for them.
yeah,
For
them.
Yeah.
Then they had the Worlds at UCLA.
At
here.
UCLA,
They
yes.
rented a nice gymnasium.
Yeah.
I don't know, much more than that, I guess. But still, profitable. They have
Oh,
a
that-
bunch of athletes too. I don't know how many.
Yeah.
Who rented UCLA?
Same Jiu-Jitsu World League.
Jiu-Jitsu World League.
But when they rented the one in Fullerton, they did it there quite a few times. It's because it's big. It's open air. They put the tents on top, so it's the production itself costs a lot of money. They got over 20 mats.
Are all of theirs?
More than 20 mats.
Because I did a Jiu-Jitsu World League tournament and it was inside.
Yeah, they
Oh, so they
did
do
the one
inside
that,
and outside?
that Gustavo was talking about in UCLA. It was in the where UCLA Bruins play, I think. So
Yeah, the gymnastics.
yeah. So they have the.
That's big. And it's very well run. It's a really, really nice
I found that
tournament. Really
when I
nice.
went.
Except when Derek couldn't find the final.
Derek was in the finals.
He had to go into the final, and they sent him to one. Matt, there was nobody there. They sent him to another. There was nobody. Then they figured out, on top of them not knowing where the final was gonna be, they figured out that his opponent didn't show up either. But it was a final. But there were within the same weight class. There were two brackets because it was huge. It was like 30 people or something. So they made two same weight class, two brackets. So he got like 4 matches to win the final in his bracket. So he gets a gold for that, but it's essentially a semifinal because he still has to go against the guy who won the other bracket.
That's like what we were talking about with the
other
2
guy-
bronzes.
Yeah.
Almost with the
Yeah.
reportage.
So the other guy, he goes and he looks
got
for
a
him, he
gold.
doesn't find him. And the funny part is, listen to this, it's 9 o'clock already, everybody's tired. We competed earlier, we waited for him, and now we're walking around, and there's like very few people left, nobody really. And we're looking for where he was gonna go. And there's like a scorer at the table, a judge, and not a judge, but a scorer, then a second scorer, and then the referee, and they're all waiting on the mat. There it goes. There's like, what is going on here? And they're like, I don't know. And then they use the walkie-talkies, and then all of a sudden, these guys start coming in. A couple of guys, like maybe 4 or 5, with those beards, without the mustache, Dagestani looking with their, and I'm like, Derek, you have 2
That's
choices.
the
You either pull guard, or we pretend like we waited long enough and we leave. But it turns out that the Dagestani guys were also confused. They were going somewhere else. They went there, they asked, and then they left. I'm like, shoot. So eventually we get to the
Gold is preserved.
They had beards with no mustache.
Derek goes to get his gold because the opponent was no show. So Derek got his first goal, and then he gets the second goal because there's no. I'm like,
He double golded.
He double golded, but he goes there
On
and
the
he sees
same- on the same
and he sees
division.
the Dagestani guy, and Derek was a blue belt, right? And he sees the Dagestani guy, and I'm like, we already forgot about it. We're like, look at them, they're over there also collecting medals. There's a guy that got a gold medal, and then another one. And I'm like, all right. And then we start leaving, and Derek is like, hold on a second. I'm like, what? And he's like, I gotta go talk to them. I'm like, what are you doing? We're gonna get now I'm concerned we're gonna get beat up. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, no, I just wanna ask him if he was supposed to be my opponent because I'm not gonna be able to sleep. I'm like, okay. So he goes there and he comes back all happy, and I'm like, what happened? He's like, no, he's a white belt. I'm like, all right, there is a white belt you wanna meet in the final. Fucking guy.
Oh my God.
No, he's a white belt. He wasn't mine. I'm like, all right, lucky.
Now I can sleep well.
That was hilarious when it happened, man. It was like the way we just quieted down when we saw these guys walking. I'm like, Derek, you either pull guard or we pull out of here before. We said we waited. We did our best.
That's a good coach.
Yeah, no, because it was 9 o'clock, supposed to start at 9 o'clock, the match. But they said 9 o'clock on that mat. We go there, and it's already 9:20, and there's nobody. And then they show up at 9:20, and I'm like, Derek, we did wait.
We did our part.
Yeah, but anyway, it wasn't them. So, but yeah, we lucked out there. But yeah, man, I think that was a good conversation. I don't know if you wanna.
What time it is?
I think it's late.
12:46. Yeah,
It's about
yeah.
time.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
started a
it's
little
about that
later,
time.
but yeah.
I gotta work in the morning.
Anyway, you got. We said we were gonna talk about your courses and stuff. It's on MMAleech.com. You have all of them listed there.
It's all there. Yeah.
All there.
Just
yeah.
go there.
You have the back.
Visit
The back
website.
control and.
Back control. I should get half guard, passing, escapes, guard retention.
Guard retention you have. Yes.
Something for everybody.
Something
Yeah,
for everybody.
I've got them all. They're good.
More coming. Ian knows. Ian
There's more coming.
There's more coming. Soon.
I mean, yeah.
So, just getting my mojo back.
I heard that.
Yeah, and then MMA Leech on YouTube and Instagram,
Yes.
and yeah, I'll
posting some
plug in
ADCC breakdowns. You guys, please take a look.
How do you get around the flow grappling thing? I meant to ask you, but I might as well ask you on camera. It doesn't matter.
I don't think there is a problem if it's short. I never had a problem with shorts.
I made a 5-minute video on Kainan before, and it took me a while to make it because I had to cut and all that stuff, and like any 5-minute video takes, and they fucking YouTube just censored it and it never saw
Really?
daylight. Yeah,
Because
I
that
still
one
have
that I
it
saw of
somewhere.
yours, I could tell what. Like you stopped it and had the cursor going.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
yes.
imagine they would catch that.
Yeah, I don't know. They catch it with AI, I think, and the AI catches certain patterns, writings and stuff. That's why when they do when you watch UFC on YouTube, sometimes if it's not an official,
They focus in?
They flip. They focus in and out, or they flip it, and then you're like, how much I've been confused by watching somebody. I'm like, this guy's not southpaw. What is going on here? And then it turns out I realized that it's actually mirror.
Before I got links to watch the bootleg, I used to go on YouTube.
You got links? What are you talking about? We buy this shit. I pay double. I pay for him for his links.
It's a little VPN.
Yeah.
Prank caller.
VPN is a great channel. They got everything.
They got everything. We know where to look.
Yeah, but anyway, man, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you,
for
Professor.
joining
It was
us.
an honor.
Thank you.
Always.
Nice talking to you guys.
All right. Till next time, we'll bring another guest, another interesting episode coming in.